Hello and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Pick a Side podcast. My name is Joel Moran and I'm here with Andrew Velez and Joel Dehls, and this is now episode 135. In this episode, we are going to talk about Herbert versus Burrow, the Dolphins' win streak, where Russell Wilson should go, if Minshew deserves another starting spot, our DPOY pick, and we'll give out our conference power rankings. A quick Patreon shout out to It's Black Ace, Anthony, BJ, PJs, Mario, Langston, Jazzy, Juice, Johannes, Ruben, Brian, Ricky, E, Enzo, Sean Solis, Sean, Muffins, John, Sean Triplet, Burner Hoops, Court Cousins, Ben Mack, P. Dot, George, Hikari, Mateen, Dave 2 Freedom, and Jay Aqua.
Good old Jay Aqua, man.
So, yo, gotta trademark that.
Quick shout out to Muffins. Happy belated to you, bro. Avid listener of the show. Really cool dude. Just want to give you that shout out.
Happy birthday to the Muffins man.
Yes, sir. Sure. That's a real dude.
And
right
shout
there.
out to It's Black Ace for subscribing to our Patreon.
Oh, really?
New subscribers.
Nice. Shout out, man.
Go. Always appreciate
Love new
those.
subscribers.
Absolutely.
And I saw this comment on one of our YouTube videos the other day, and it's from Marcus Wilson. Please give me a shout out next episode. I've been watching damn near every episode. Y'all are legit. So shout out to Marcus, Wilson. You're getting your shout out on this episode.
Let's go.
So the weird thing is, it's a little weird, right? My name is Joel. His name is Joel, spelled the exact same way. Pronunciation is just a bit different. When I was in school, all of my teachers used to call me Joel.
No way, bro. All of my teachers called me Joel.
That's
I swear,
they knew,
bro.
That's because
all of my teachers call me Joel.
That's because they knew I was Joel, not Joel. So they're like, yo, this guy must be Joel then.
I don't know. Everyone called me Joel. And, like, that's predominantly, like, a Spanish person's name. And, like, growing up in middle school, I was predominantly, like, white school. But it didn't matter. They always called me Joel.
Tell you what. You don't look like a Joel.
You're telling me?
No.
Like, you don't.
What does he look like?
A Joel. Yeah.
A
White as
Joel?
hell. Yeah. Like,
White as hell.
Like, don't got no Spanish in me. Like,
You don't think he you don't think he looks like another name?
I would say if your brother's Puerto Rican, I could be Puerto Rican.
100%.
So
100%.
Yeah.
He barely counts. We give him that though.
You know what he looks like? A name? He looks like a Harrison.
That's even whiter than
Yeah.
Joel. Like
I don't know, bro. Joel is pretty white.
Harrison.
Yeah, Harrison's also pretty white.
I could see Henry.
Oh my, now we're getting rude.
Yeah. Oh, dude. That's how we're gonna start the show off.
What does Drew sound like? His name.
Hey,
what does he look like?
I look like a Drew. That's a fact.
I don't know.
I've gone Alex.
Look like a Justin.
And Alex, I could
I've
see.
gone Alex. I've got Justin. I'm not opposed. I know a Justin, cool dude. Couple of them,
Yeah.
both cool dudes.
Yeah, facts.
Love them both.
I
Actually.
could see you being a Brandon.
A Brandon. I have a cousin named Brandon, so all right. First cousin.
I could see you being a Christian also.
Christian, okay.
Justin and Alex, he had me. The rest, nah.
Cool with that.
What do I look like?
Jay Aqua.
It's not even.
Nah, low key, you could be a J.
Jay?
I mean, you got Joel,
okay,
so
yeah,
maybe that's just
yeah,
what's in my
facts.
head. Some Spanish. You got
Jeffrey.
the curls going.
Jeffrey. What the hell?
Something with the J. Anything in the J family. Yo, you guys see that TikTok of people with names with J? They're terrible people.
They probably have a TikTok for every
Get
letter.
no girls.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
just bad.
It's true, man.
I feel like it's the opposite.
If you have J, bitches galore. You get them all.
I think that's how it is.
Let me not derogatory. We got 0.1% women. Who am I kidding?
Yeah.
All right, so listen, I'm keeping that consistent. Jeffrey's not a horrible name. Listen, Young Thug.
I don't think. I don't know. I don't feel like he even likes his name.
What do you mean he made a whole album
Isn't
named
his
it?
name Sex?
Yo, no, he wants people to call him Sex though.
But it's not legally changed. It's not like he just can or change it to freedom.
Or
We're
yay.
the sports version of Flagrant 2.
Us?
Yes.
I'm with that.
Yeah, say less.
Flagrant 2, shout out to y'all.
So
Great podcast.
You can be uncensored
Mean?
all you want. Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like, can we just start letting the F word fly? I feel like we can't just do that.
Not like every
Exactly.
sentence.
DraftKings don't care. They're good with it.
I don't even know. I'm not every sentence. Not every sentence, but once in a while.
I'm very reserved in my usage of
Yeah.
cursing. I'll say hell. Occasionally, I'll say shit. Occasionally. Joel would be the one, like, he'll let it go, and I'll be like, all right, I have the okay. But, like, other than that, hardly
I'll be letting
ever.
it go sometimes.
You do.
Yeah,
You definitely do. Hey,
You know,
but-
Gary Vee said that people from Jersey just curse, and the reason why Gary Vee curses is because he's from Jersey. I'm like, why is that even a thing?
And I was
man?
giving us a bad rap.
Yeah, how do people
But,
from Jersey
I mean,
even curse? Like,
Okay.
They're
I
trying
mean,
to say we're
everyone
angry.
curses.
They're trying to say
though,
we're
like,
angry.
No
That's
matter
what they're
where you
trying to
go.
say.
Yeah.
Jersey people are kind
But Gary Vee is also big into like, this is who I am. If you don't like me, fuck off. More or less,
yeah,
know?
literally. No, Gary Vee is funny. I've been watching his like he goes to yard sales and
his garage. Yeah.
Every single time he does it kills me. He's like, one of the guys was like, can you at least get off my property before I know how much I lost? Bro, I think he bought it for like $10. It was worth like $400 or $500.
Yeah.
Like he's insane with
you be
that.
watching the memes about Gary Vee?
Yeah, the
You
one guy
sent
on
me a bunch of
TikTok's
them.
hilarious,
He be
bro.
funny as
The
hell.
one guy who does impressions are spot
He
on.
be like, gotta have gratitude.
He's buying his nails like, I'm just telling you, man. you gotta express gratitude, bro. Shit's mad funny.
It's perspective. It's, you know what? Yo, like Gary Vee would be talking to a 6-year-old and say, who cares what your parents say? Don't listen to them. Just do what you got to do. Be
Nah, he
consistent, stay
kills me.
persistent. You have to be on all platforms, TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram.
Yeah.
You got to push out content. Just daily.
Content.
Don't care about the views or the comments. Just push out content.
He
That's
kills
it.
me. But his message is always clear, but he's just so over the
He's
top with
nutcase.
things.
Nutcase.
Gary Vee be like, if you're not making videos and pushing out content,
Yeah.
you're not going to exist.
I met him once. I met him,
met him?
when I was
That's
working
a
with
fact.
the Jets.
I
It was
do
mad
remember him
cool.
saying that. If you don't post, are you a person?
I honestly,
exist.
I noticed him from like the bald spot in his head. I was like, yo, that's Gary Vee. Like for
A
sure.
fact. I remember you telling me you saw him
Yeah, I
at the
got a
Jets
picture
game.
with him. Yeah, it was mad
He's
cool.
boys with
That's what's
Davies,
up.
right?
He is boys with Davies.
That's kinda nuts.
I'm boys with Davies.
You are.
I have a picture with him
Kind of
too.
look like Davies.
You're
Okay.
boys with Davies. You
Uh,
could text him right
Back
now.
in the day, you know
I was
what I'm
on.
saying?
I was
we
on
kind of had
Davies'
it falling off.
IG Live actually.
You were.
Yeah, I
That
was.
was
He's
tough.
like sock you in the face.
I mean, he's like 6'6".
Yeah,
oh,
nah,
well, you're
he's-
6'4", to
yeah,
be fair, but
I mean,
nah,
but
he's
got
some
it.
big.
They're really
From
tall.
Harlem.
Yeah,
He's got it.
he's a big dude. And he used to play basketball, bro.
He
It's
did.
mad nice.
He went D1, I think.
Yeah. Listen, Coach K, what did he say? Coach K and recruit him, something like that. I forget
Yeah,
the
he had
line.
some bar.
I would love to meet Gary Vee.
Oh
I'd
yeah,
love to meet
It was
him.
really cool. Yeah.
Shake his hand and get some content advice.
Just
you're
bust it
taking
out.
500K. You're taking a dinner with Gary Vee.
Here's a question for you guys. I'll just answer this first. I didn't even ask a question, but I'll just give my perspective on this. I believe that if it wasn't for the podcast or like YouTube or nothing like that, I wouldn't have a Twitter or social media.
Oh yeah.
I don't think so. I don't.
Did
think
you
I
have one before? You had one before the podcast, no?
I had one, but like I deleted it for a while.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of going.
I would
about
definitely
social
still
media.
have it. I use Twitter so much for sports that I
No.
feel like I would just need to have it. Instagram, I don't use as much, but I would still probably have both.
I'm gonna sound extremely Gen Z. I don't know if I could do without it. Truthfully, Twitter is like my main source of information.
yeah.
Literally, like I get
Twitter's
it
the newspaper.
instantaneously.
Like,
Instagram, that's purely enjoyment.
oh yeah, we
Instagram-
know why we're on Instagram.
Okay, listen, you can get me popped, but she doesn't even watch, so who cares? Snapchat, honest to God, Snapchat can go.
Yeah, Snap can go.
But IG,
Snap,
That has
like-
already left.
yeah,
me.
for
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
Instagram's
done.
basically Snapchat, TikTok, all
Exactly.
in one.
But TikTok,
I don't know
TikTok's
how,
lit.
but you know, Snapchat stock is going up.
Really?
I'm not sure.
Well,
how
didn't
that
Facebook
is.
buy it?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure about
I feel
that.
like I thought they
Well,
did.
Instagram's obviously Facebook also, so,
Yeah.
but I don't know if they bought Snapchat either. That would be
Look it up.
interesting. TikTok though, that really might be the reign supreme one right
Oh no,
now.
but apparently Facebook offered them $3 billion.
And Snapchat said it's chopped.
Yeah,
It took everybody a while to get on TikTok, like older people.
Uh-huh.
that was
Yeah.
in 2013.
Ooh,
Damn.
$3 billion in 2013
Yeah.
is nuts.
I would have accepted that.
I thought they were bought out by somebody.
It took me a while to get on TikTok. Actually, my girl
Yeah, it
must have
did
been
too.
for like months. TikTok. I was
because
like,
of
I
the
refuse.
stigma around it.
Yes, actually.
Yeah,
Like the whole
no, I agree.
information stuff.
I didn't get probably till the pandemic. I don't think I got TikTok because it was like, oh, like it's for kids or
Yeah,
whatever.
that's it.
But
Yep,
then I got
100%.
on.
just
I'm like,
That was the
dancing
main thing.
videos.
yeah,
literally.
no, TikTok's the funniest app.
It's just funny.
God bless.
It's
Yeah.
funny because
It's Vine on crack.
everybody said TikTok is just dancing videos. And when I got TikTok, I got no dancing
Yeah.
videos. All my videos.
well, it's all
were
about your
not
For You
that.
page,
That's a
whatever.
fact.
Yeah.
Genius, man. That idea is just absolutely genius. For You page is literally the only thing I use. Do you even use your followed page
No,
at all?
never.
That's why I think a lot of people on TikTok that have a lot of followers, their views, they don't get views on their stuff because nobody on TikTok goes to the follow page.
No.
Yeah.
It's just all For You.
And Instagram's kind of doing that now too. There's been so many posts that come up that are like sports and football that I don't follow, but it just recommends them to me, and I like
tweeted
them.
that the other day on Instagram. I don't even see posts from people I follow anymore.
Nah, I still see like I would say like 80% are people I follow,
Are
but
you on
I
the
don't
Explore
mind.
page?
I don't mind getting on the other pages. Like I
Really?
would love to
on
see
the
them.
homepage. every single time I swipe, it's like a football stat
I don't know, man.
or
I
a
feel
girl
like
or a hot girl.
Yeah, or food. Those are literally that's the only
that's
three
the
I
three.
see.
That's the three.
And I'll be like, yo, who's this? And I was like, 18,000 likes. Y'all don't got a
It's
chance.
150,000 followers. She lives in like Texas. I'm like,
I don't even follow those.
See it never.
The only one that's getting the follow from me is probably Kylie. Basically every Kardashian or Jenner. That's
So
really
mainstream.
it. That's really it. I mean, listen.
Good, rather bad.
Exactly.
I ain't following nobody that don't follow me.
I respect that because for a majority, that's pretty me too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely me.
If it's a celebrity that like I really mess with,
who
yeah,
am I
I'm
following
doing
these
it.
girls for? I'm not. They follow me though. All right, maybe I'll love you. I'll love you a follow, but that's
Maybe.
Mhm.
maybe
For sure. Not for sure, bro.
That's it.
Yeah, I understand.
Come on.
But yeah, other than celebrities and like football players and athletes and stuff like that, those are the only ones. If you don't follow me, yeah, hell no. What do you think you are?
Exactly. You're better than me because
Yeah.
you look good. Get out of here. Get out of here.
Don't look better than me. That's
No,
Sometimes even athletes just redundant to follow them because they don't even be posting.
See,
Some
that's-
do. Elijah Moore, I love his Instagram. Did you see the picture of him, AVT, and Michael Carter? Do you follow him?
He didn't have one with Zach Wilson.
Nah, it was him, Michael Carter, and
Saw
AVT together. Bro, it's so good.
I follow people
My
on
twins.
on Twitter, like, cause I have my ratio is pretty decent on Twitter, so I'll follow a bunch of celebrities. Like I follow Gary Sanchez. I probably shouldn't follow him anymore. I follow Jerry Judy. I'll always follow him. I follow Sutton. I follow all the people on
I had
my
unfollowed
main
Stroh.
squad. Really,
But
that did hurt.
he's a good follow though, because he's like very
cool.
into,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
meditation,
follow LeBron.
peacefulness.
Obviously, that's a
and-
great
who
follow.
doesn't?
Yeah, literally.
Greg Stroman. Why'd you don't follow
No,
him? Then?
Marcus Stroman.
Oh, Marcus Stroman.
He was on the Mets.
I know he's a pitcher.
Yeah, he ended
He's
up
a
going to
closer,
the
right?
Cubs.
No,
he's a starting
starting
pitcher.
pitcher.
He was.
Oh, okay.
We gotta get
amazing
you
for
versed,
us.
bro.
Yeah.
We gotta get you versed in MLB.
The Mets,
Hey,
man.
that's
This is
not
their
gonna
year.
happen.
No, never.
The next sport I'm gonna take on is UFC,
Really?
and that's only because
Really?
I'm gonna start going to jiu-jitsu for real, like being consistent with it.
That's what
So once I start doing that, like I'm gonna get in tune with UFC.
our boy Mel
I'm gonna do my
does.
thing.
Yeah.
UFC.
He has his
Yeah.
first fight next year, I think, like February or something.
That's
He trains with
what's up.
Glover Teixeira.
He does. Very
That's
tough.
what's up.
That is OD. Glover Teixeira is the champion.
Talking about Melvin Jovel, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
He lived on the street.
Yeah,
bro.
He used to live on
Yeah,
Pink.
it's like one of our best friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's mad.
So he's gonna have his first UFC fight
He's
in a year.
gonna be at the games tomorrow.
Oh shit, this what's up.
Yeah.
So he's gonna be at the.
Well, he's still.
It's his first amateur fight.
Yeah. He's not gonna be like.
What date is that exactly?
I don't know. I was talking to him a
I
few
thought it
weeks
was in
ago.
November.
Nah, it got pushed or something.
That's a shame.
Yeah, he knows how to fight.
No, he's a beast.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He's a beast.
Yeah. Bro's been training his whole life. It
Yeah,
seems like.
literally.
Yeah, he knows how
He
to
put his
fight.
whole government out there.
Yeah, I know, for real. I try to keep it low.
They gonna know regardless though.
Yeah,
Is he gonna fight under his government name? I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah, I
Probably,
guess.
yeah,
Word.
it's got
That makes
to.
sense.
Okay. So we're gonna start the show now.
Let's go.
Justin Herbert versus Joe Burrow. The much-awaited matchup: Chargers versus Bengals. Number one overall pick versus the 6th overall pick. Now, I want to get your guys' takeaways from this game, but I also want you to answer this question.
Okay.
If we were doing a redraft, let's say we're back in 2019, and Bengals, or it was a 2020 draft, right?
Yep.
Okay, we're back in 2020. You're the Bengals on the clock. You still taking Burrow, or are you going Justin Herbert? But first, give me your takeaways of the game. I'll start with you, Joel.
Sure. So first off, Joe Burrow started off the game terribly. I mean, at one point they were down 24-0. He had a first quarter interception and a strip sack fumble. So Joe Burrow, one of the best things I like from him and just my quarterbacks in general, it's really, I almost call it like that Lamar instinct where he'll throw multiple interceptions, he'll screw up, but you could tell how much he really cares. Some quarterbacks don't have that. Like some quarterbacks really don't care. Now, obviously on the inside, but I like how Burrow shows it and his teammates know that he actually cares and, he's going to go out and compete and win because he came back from that. It ended up being 24-22 at one point. Eventually in the fourth quarter, the Chargers, ended up taking it away. Then it went by like 20 points or so. But when I look at both of these teams, they're very similar to me in the sense that I don't know what I'm getting from them week to week. And I think that's mostly because they're both young teams with young quarterbacks, first and second year head coaches. From the Bengals side of things, they had lost 2 games to the Jets and Browns earlier in the seasons. 2 that, looking at it now, seem like winnable games. The Browns, divisional matchup, so I give them a bit of a pass. But with the banged-up Baker Mayfield, that's something that I expect. If the Bengals want to take another jump, that's a game they should win. And then the Chargers, they had a couple bad losses. One against the Ravens, which is just a complete stinker, lost 34-6. And then a winnable game in Minnesota. And also the Broncos game. Forgot about that,
You
where
smoked them.
they
You smoked them.
they got dominated. Like, I know it was only a 2-possession game, but they scored 13 points. And again, a divisional game where if I want you to take that next jump and you're an elite team, those are games I want you to win. I think they're on the road.
Yeah, I think we were in Mile High.
Yeah, but regardless, when it comes to those takeaways, look at both these teams very similarly. I just think they're both young. They need another year or two to really get the consistency. And it's hard in the NFL, especially with a 17-game season now. You're going to have some ups and downs, but they're really teams that I don't know what I'm getting week for week. And for your other question, the Herbert versus Burrow, I think if you redrafted the entire NFL, Herbert would probably be my second overall pick.
And first being Mahomes?
Mahomes would be 1. Herbert would be 2. Kyler would probably be 3. I'd take Herbert because of the injuries to Kyler the last couple of years.
I like that.
But I mean, Herbert's having a borderline MVP season this year, and no one's really talking about it. He has the most fourth quarter comebacks, the most game-winning drives, number 1 in QBR, number 3 in touchdowns, number 4 in yards, and he's doing this with having the 3rd most attempts in the league. So they're even asking him to do even more than he was last year, obviously coming out having one of the better rookie seasons that we've seen. So overall, I would take Herbert over Burrow. Burrow is probably a little bit downer for me. I'm not as high as everyone else. I would still take him over Tua, like I said in the last episode. But I think Herbert's a top 3 quarterback in the league when it comes to redrafting everyone.
I agree with a lot of what you're saying, truthfully. I look at Herbert and I look at Burrow. The eye test is clear to me. Herbert just does a little bit more better. His footwork is better. His arm is better. He makes better decisions. Right now, you have Herbert, who has 100 more attempts than Burrow does, and he's thrown 4 less interceptions than he has, and he's thrown 4 more touchdowns than Burrow has as well. I just look at what's going on with Cincinnati and what's going on with the Chargers, and like Joel said, these are two teams that have been, for a majority, good this season, but they have those moments where they just aren't who we perceive them to be. We look at the Chargers, their rush defense is not the best by any means. They did pretty damn good this weekend against Joe Mixon. They held him to, I think there was at one point he had 10 rushes for 19 yards. He was atrocious, had the fumble within the game that ended up being the deciding factor that just led the Chargers to just not look back at that point. I think they scored 17 unanswered after that fumble. And before that fumble, it looked like the Bengals had a strong chance to not only just come back to win the game. I just think that ultimately, as good as Burrow is, and as good as great as the flashes that Burrow has shown us, I just think that Herbert is a supreme talent over Joe Burrow. And I just think that his arm is what separates it. Because Herbert can make throws that maybe 2 to 3 other quarterbacks in the league can make. And as smart as Joe Burrow is, and that's where I feel like that's why Cincinnati decided to take that chance on him, on top of all the great things that he did at LSU, and the fantastic season he had there was a lot of hype going into Burrow going into the draft. So I understand the logic behind the pick. It's not a bad pick. It's just the fact that Herbert was the 3rd quarterback selected in the draft. That's where it starts to become interesting. If there was a redraft, 100%, Herbert would be at a minimum 3 or 4 for me personally. So in terms of a redraft for 2020, I feel like it's a no-brainer. You'd go Herbert. And you mentioned the stats, so I won't reiterate, but I just feel like QBR, that's probably the most significant quarterback stat for me personally. And Herbert's number 1 in the NFL, and Joe Burrow is 19th right now with, I believe it's 48.7. Burrow needs to be a little bit more mindful with some of his passes. I feel like he's a little bit too inconsistent in his play. These last 3 games really hasn't been the Joe Burrow that we've seen early on in this season and flashes last season. So ultimately, I just think in the grand scheme of things, I wasn't sure who was the better team coming into this week. I felt as if Cincinnati was a little bit more complete, given the fact they really didn't have a glaring hole. And you look at LA, their hole was run defense. And then they really just put that to bed against a top 5 running back this season, for sure, in Joe Mixon. Stat-wise at least, and whether people feel like talent-wise he's top 5, I won't push back on that too much. But going into this week, I really wasn't sure who was the better team. And the game, until that Joe Mixon fumble, really was that type of neck-and-neck type, two high-caliber teams that I was expecting. And then that fumble happened, Chargers kind of ran away. But the game was a lot closer than what people were, or than at least what the score tells you. And the fact that I'll give Burrow this, the grit and grind to come back in the game with a dislocated pinky. You see him grimacing on the sideline. You see him really struggling to throw a football, visibly getting upset, and to come in there and continue to sling the rock was very impressive to me. So I'll give him his kudos to that. It's just he's not Herbert. That's all it comes down to.
This game was really close. I felt like it could have went either way at one point.
Yeah.
The Chargers started out 24-0. I mean, I don't even think it was by way of them playing so much better. I think the Bengals just made some miscues in some crucial moments.
Definitely.
The first one that stands out the first drive of the game, I'm pretty sure it was, Joe Burrow has Jamar Chase wide open on the seam. Totally blown coverage, but Nwosu makes a great play, gets to Burrow, beats Jonah Williams, and has a strip sack. And what could have been a touchdown turns into a strip sack, and now the Chargers have the ball in their own red zone pretty much.
Yep.
Then the other play, Joe Burrow throws a perfectly placed deep pass to Jamar Chase. He bobbles it, and it gets intercepted.
Yeah.
We have to start a petition for quarterbacks not to be penalized for receiver-caused interceptions because, believe it or not, that QBR stat takes that interception into account and says it's on Burrow. And that's why his QBR is probably 19th because he's definitely not been 19th best quarterback this year.
I agree with that.
In fact, the guy who has the 8th best QBR right now, Tua, Burrow's better than Tua. So QBR is not a
Allegedly.
stat I want to use. Only when it fits my narrative.
Yeah, exactly.
As you should.
But it's just when you watch the film, Burrow is not the 19th best quarterback. And I think
agree
the
with that.
film shows that he's better than a lot of guys that have a better QBR. It was a close game. My key takeaways from this game was that Herbert is unreal. The throws that he makes consistently, 2 throws to Mike Williams jumped out to me, just jump ball ones perfectly placed. Herbert is unreal, and he is a top 5, if not top 3 quarterback in the NFL right now. That's not even up for debate. The Bengals defense looked bad early. They got better as of late. They got better later in the game. Jesse Bates has fallen off this year. He's one of the worst safeties in coverage this season. He gave up a big play to Mike Williams, I think, twice, and he gave up a touchdown because of a miscommunication in the end zone. He hasn't been good this year. And Trey Hendrickson won his matchup against Rashawn Slater. Slater has been fine all season.
Yeah,
great.
Yeah,
a top 3 rookie.
He's been great.
Hendrickson gave him hell. I mean, that was, you could see he was struggling with him the entire game.
I'm glad Hendrickson's playing well because
there was a lot of talk about that signing. Like, he got to the quarterback, but it's not repeatable, this and that. But he's having a good season for
sure.
them.
But yeah, then you mentioned the Mixon fumble. That was a fumble touchdown.
Yeah.
I mean, the Chargers took that in for a touchdown. The Bengals just missed a lot of opportunities. 2 touchdowns left on the board. Jamar Chase, one of them was his fault. The other one just got a block better. Jamar Chase should have had a 150-yard 2-touchdown day.
Easily.
Instead, he had 50 yards on a day.
Tragic.
And Joe Burrow should have had an equal, if not better, stat line than Herbert. Joe Burrow, 300 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 picks, completed 60% of his passes. Herbert, 317, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick, completed 74% of his passes. Burrow should have thrown for damn near 400 this game. Should have had 3 touchdowns with 1 pick and completed like 68% of his passes if everything goes right. Now, talking about who would I take in a redraft. If it's just my team that I'm starting, I'm taking Herbert. The Bengals, still taking Burrow. Because Joe Burrow's from Ohio. He's an Ohio kid that fits the Bengals. And Joe Burrow's a damn good a great quarterback, and he's going to be a top 10 quarterback year after year after year. This season, he's leading the league in interceptions, yeah, but he has a lot of touchdowns this year too. I mean, he has 23 touchdowns, 14 picks, and that's after suffering a gruesome knee injury, not just his ACL, his meniscus. I mean, this guy tore everything in his knee basically and came back earlier than expected.
Yeah.
And is playing at this high of a level. The Bengals, they're in the playoffs right now. If the season were to end today, they're in the playoffs. If I'm the Bengals, I'm still taking Burrow number 1. There's no doubt about it because he's from Cincinnati, he's from Ohio, and he's going to be a great quarterback in this league. And you mentioned the toughness. Coming back, dislocated pinky, that affected his throwing motion a lot. He played through that mostly the entire game and still was throwing dimes.
Very good throws.
The score was 41-22, but if these two teams meet in the playoffs, it's going to be a dogfight.
Oh, absolutely.
It's going to go down to the wire. It's going to be a dogfight. These two teams are evenly matched.
They are.
Despite what the score indicated, these two teams are evenly matched. But if I was the Bengals, I'm looking at Burrow. He's still my guy. The only team that should be having regrets about not taking Herbert or the Dolphins.
I think almost every team who didn't take Herbert should be having regrets.
You're right,
but the
teams
Dolphins,
that
yes, because
took a quarterback.
I mean, they took him one spot ahead of Herbert. I don't think there's any doubt in their mind if the Chargers called them Miami, be like, yo, we'll give you Herbert for Tua. They're doing that in a heartbeat.
I'm not going to comment.
Okay. I mean, it's true.
What am I gonna
It's
say?
fine,
What am
bro.
I gonna
Like,
say?
it's
Obviously,
fine.
He's Herbert.
Yeah.
Like, Herbert's a top 5 quarterback in the league. Before the season started, had huge expectations for Herbert to be an MVP candidate.
Yeah.
I thought that he was my front runner to be MVP. It's still a possibility. There's no true MVP in the league right now. That being said, 100%. Herbert is spectacular in so many facets. He's a mobile quarterback on top of being a pinpoint passer, on top of being a great pocket, having great pocket awareness, on top of just analyzing the game within the pocket. He's a perfect quarterback for sure.
Yes.
He's a special talent, one of the premier talents in this league, and there's very few more talented than he is. So what you guys are saying is pretty accurate. I just don't want to hear it.
And he's super talented without having that Mahomes factor of like, not that I think Mahomes thinks he's too talented, but he makes plays where he thinks he gets away with things. You know, thinking he's Mahomes.
I know
where
exactly
Herbert
what
doesn't
you
have
mean.
that real mentality. Like, I need to go out every play and play hero ball. He plays a lot more in the system. And
It's a great point.
I wouldn't even say that has to do with the coaching staff because Andy Reid, obviously one of the best offensive minds we've ever seen. But Herbert just has something that Mahomes doesn't. And we've seen it years from Mahomes where he'll go out and play hero ball, and the first few seasons worked. This year, he's really taken a step back. The interceptions have gone up. But it's been year after year that he's made these type of plays where we all think that, oh, this is going to last forever and it's going to keep happening. But at some point, it's going to regress to the mean. That's what we're seeing this year. But Herbert just goes out there and like that throw to Mike Williams from one side of the field all the way to the other.
I think that was it wasn't Mike Williams, and it wasn't Palmer either, man. It's
Guyton.
It might have been Guyton. It was Guyton. It was Guyton.
Where he from the right side of the field,
Yes,
that was Guyton?
yes.
Oh, I thought that was Mike.
I was just about to
That
say
was on Jesse Bates.
Yeah, that was the only throw that I really felt is like comparable to him playing hero ball.
Yeah.
Because you're throwing
But
across.
still,
the
that's
field.
one-on-one coverage. That's like,
Exactly.
I'll take that.
No, 100%.
I don't know. I feel like Herbert makes a lot of plays like that. He takes a lot of risk because he knows he can make those throws.
There you go. But
Mahomes is just a different level of risk-taking, like the left-handed passes and, stuff that just probably he should never do.
that's pretty cool though.
It's cool, but
He's flashier, but you're talking about like Mahomes. It's not working.
He does,
Like,
no,
it's-
not saying that.
he won a Super Bowl.
It's
He's a
just talking about.
champion.
It's just talking about taking risk on some, especially this season. Some that may be unwarranted.
for sure.
Mahomes this year has the most receiver caused interceptions than any quarterback in the league.
I would also like to see what his turnover-worthy plays are. I'm sure he has a ton.
Maybe. I'm not sure what that exact stat is, but I know last game Tyreek Hill dropped the ball and it turned into an interception.
For sure.
To me, that's not on Mahomes. Mahomes
No,
has had a lot of those this year. It's just funny how we're talking about Mahomes. Oh man, he's regressed this year, and he's a top 5 quarterback still playing at a top 5 quarterback.
You got to scrutinize
level.
the best. That's what it is. When you're the best and you've reached a pinnacle that very few have reached, you get held to a higher standard. It's
Exactly.
the same way that people scrutinize LeBron James, same way that people scrutinize Tom Brady.
But you're making it seem like Herbert deserves more praise for not being a hero type of quarterback like Mahomes is. You try to downplay Mahomes.
It's not
It's
about
depending on how you interpret it, because I understand exactly what he means. Sometimes you're watching the games and you see Mahomes make a throw that he's Mahomes. You understand why he's making the throw, but it's a little ill-advised.
I feel
It has
like
nothing
everything
to go
he does
against-
is advised.
It has nothing
'Cause he can
against
make every
Mahomes.
throw.
He can, and so can Herbert. But
That's
that
a
doesn't mean
fact.
Herbert tries even though he
That's-
does, he takes risks, and as he should. He has the best arm in the NFL, arguably. But I feel like Mahomes takes more of those unwarranted risks, especially earlier in the season when this Chiefs defense was the worst in the league, and you can't put your defense in those positions.
I think Herbert takes a lot of risk too, though. I don't feel like Herbert plays conservative at all.
He doesn't. No, I'm not saying he does. I'm just saying I think Mahomes takes more of those over-the-top risks playing hero ball than Herbert does when I'm just watching. I could look up the turnover-worthy plays for both of them, but I feel like just off the top of my head, that's what I'm feeling.
Mahomes disrespect.
It's not Mahomes disrespect.
Listen, the only
It's
one
not-
that disrespects him is me.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've rooted for Mahomes 2 years in a row in the Super
Oh my
Bowl.
God, this is low-key his biggest fan.
I'm Mahomes' biggest.
Because I thought I was like, he could be.
Congrats.
Hopefully, he could be better than Brady, but
Over.
that's never gonna happen.
Why can't it happen?
Because Brady beat him in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's it. It's locked.
It's over.
He'll never be better than him.
unless
off
he
that
gets
one
like,
guy.
Why is
unless he
it
literally
locked?
gets like 10 chips. Because Brady beat him in the Super Bowl his first year on a new team.
Wait, so we not accounting for the defense and the part they played in it?
If Brady didn't have a spectacular game, then yeah, I'd agree. But he was amazing.
What was Mahomes supposed to do? His entire offensive line was out.
Listen, it sucks. It's right because it's not really Mahomes' fault, but he lost to Brady.
That's it.
Like, what can I
exactly?
You know what I'm saying, bro? Like
Talking about a sport like that, I talking about football. I just don't go by that, man. Like, I get that Mahomes lost to Brady, but you're telling me if Mahomes gets 6 more Super Bowl victories, you're not gonna put him in as the GOAT.
You got to have a
and
conversation.
And if he beats all the records that Brady is
Brady
broken,
what are the chances that Mahomes gets 6?
there's probably little to no chance, in my opinion. I think that's just. I feel like what Brady and what the Patriots have done is something that's a one in a lifetime.
Does Brady
thing.
have 7? Brady has 7.
Yes, he has 9 appearances. I think what Brady and Belichick did, because it's Belichick and Brady.
I agree.
And that 1 year with the Bucs.
In his first
I
year
don't
with
know
the
if that's ever going to happen again. And yeah, I give Brady a lot of credit for winning with the Bucs, but we
first
can't.
Season is crazy.
I understand that, but we can't forget that they have AB, they have Godwin, they have Gronk, they have Mike Evans. The defense was stacked, top to bottom. The offensive line was a top 5 offensive line in football. Leonard Fournette, getting him like this is a stacked roster. Also, let's not act like it's just Brady versus Mahomes. Like this is an entire roster and a coaching staff behind.
Again,
it.
you're saying all that, but it's Tom Brady. And he had a fantastic game.
When you're actually gonna like, because you're gonna be, between these two, they're going to be arguably 2 of the best quarterbacks. Mahomes might not be in the second best quarterback either. So you're going to have to pick little things, nitpick who's really better.
Exactly.
And that win over Mahomes, regardless if Mahomes didn't have an offensive line or not, is going to come into account. And real quick, Mahomes has 16 turnover-worthy plays. Herbert has 10. So it's not exponentially more, but it's still more. And my eye test was true.
Another thing related to the conversation, like you talk about Gronk and Kelsey. People talk about Kelsey like he could potentially be the greatest tight end ever. That being said, what did Gronk do in the Super Bowl? Not have 1 touchdown, had 2 touchdowns. Kelsey had a solid game over 100 yards, but Gronk left his stamp on the game, and he ended up coming out victorious. And I feel like regardless of that, what can Kelsey do to catch Gronk? I feel like there's nothing he can do. So that's why I feel like pretty similar. Brady had a great game. Mahomes had a solid game. It's unfortunate that his guys didn't show up. He had no O-line. Tyreek dropped a touchdown.
So I got a question for you then.
It's just that he lost.
Bruce Arians versus Andy Reid. So you're telling me Bruce Arians is a better coach than Andy Reid because he beat him in the Super Bowl all time.
Why is that, though?
Because that's the head-to-head, right? Because since he beat him head-to-head, that must make him better.
But we're talking about greatest of all time. It's like I don't think Andy Reid's the greatest head coach of all time.
No, but who would you rank higher?
That's pretty close, truthfully.
Off the top of my head, I'm not sure.
I know.
But I do agree. When we're talking about the greatest football player of all time, that's different than comparing the 6th and 7th best head coach of all time.
Yeah.
I'm just talking strictly about your logic that you're using. Because I don't think in football a head-to-head isn't what makes somebody better. Because it's not Mahomes versus Brady. It's Mahomes versus the defense. It's Brady versus the defense.
Look at the entire resume and the fact that Brady has the resume, and on top of it, when they faced off, Brady won.
Brady has the resume because he's played longer. There's no doubt. I'm just saying, if you're just using, because you just told me, it's stamped that Brady is going to finish all time better than
Mahomes can do.
You're saying there's nothing Mahomes can do.
Yeah.
Even if Mahomes wins multiple Super Bowls and gets there and does miraculous things and breaks records, you think it's stamped only because Brady beat him in the Super Bowl.
Not only because
that's what you said.
7 rings and beat Mahomes in the Super Bowl. His first year on a new team, twice Mahomes' age. The underdog.
The final nail in the coffin was beating him.
I get what you're saying, but you told me there's nothing Mahomes can do.
I mean, yes, obviously, if he really goes out there and wins like 9 chips,
exactly.
like sure,
that's
okay,
it. Yes, that's it.
I don't think
that's
any of us think
legitimately
that's
the only
happening.
way. If he wins 8, listen, if he gets 5 or 6,
that's crazy.
Come on.
Yeah, like Brady's the only one who does that.
I'm just pushing back on that comment that you made because you said there's nothing he can do that it's stamped.
It's going to be
based off a head-to-head.
Sure, nothing, but it's like 99% stamped that I don't see how.
Agreed.
Like, I do agree, yes, it's Mahomes versus the defense and Brady versus the defense.
Yes.
But when you're going to be having these debates of who's the greatest of all time and Brady has that huge Super Bowl win over Mahomes, what can you do?
Yeah.
Mahomes could still go down as the second best quarterback ever.
Easy.
I feel like if we're using head-to-heads that way, then we have to use that for everything, and that's not a logic I agree with.
We're using
for example, I think Andy Reid is a better coach than Bruce Arians, and he has a better resume than Bruce Arians. But if you're using the logic you guys are using,
If Bruce
that
Arians
means Bruce
wins
Arians is
if Bruce
better.
Arians wins another championship, right? What can you really say to argue him being not better than Andy Reid?
I'm talking about right now.
I'm just saying.
I'm talking about right now.
Because right now I agree.
Because
Andy Reid's a better head coach.
based on that logic you said about head to head.
But that's not the logic. No, that's not.
That would
Logic
mean
changes
exactly.
when you're talking about
that
the
would mean
GOAT.
that
We're not
Bruce
talking about
Arians
the
would be
great-
better than Andy
look,
Reid because he
we're
beat
not-
him in Super Bowl.
Again, we're not talking about the greatest head coach of all time. That's already done. That's
Yeah,
done.
That's done too.
We're talking about quarterback play. Mahomes was the only one that has the trajectory to legitimately surpass Tom Brady. And when they played, he lost. And did he throw a single touchdown pass?
He should have. There was a lot of
There was
drops
one.
in that game.
100% I agree with that.
It's unfortunate for
didn't, he should've.
Mahomes. I'm not saying it's
Harrison
his fault he
Butker,
lost.
three field
I'm
goals.
just pushing back on the stamp thing because I think you guys are emphatic. And frankly, I think you
It's
guys
over.
are.
How many rings really does he have to win, Mahomes, for you to think that Brady isn't the GOAT?
He's at 7. Just get
He
that through your
has-
head. 7.
Mahomes has to tie him or
That's
and
what I'm
break
saying,
records.
bro. Like I think he legitimately needs to get
See.
8. He needs to get one more than Brady because he lost to Brady.
No, I get it. I know what you're saying, and I know Mahomes has a long way to go. I'm not saying he doesn't, but you guys made it sound like it's stamped.
It is.
and it's not gonna
99%
happen.
done.
Yes,
Like I
it's-
don't think
But you guys, this is my problem. You guys didn't say it's stamped because of the resume Brady has.
There's so many
Hold
things
on,
that
hold on.
go into it.
You guys didn't say it's stamped because of the because
That's
of
how
the.
you interpret it.
No. That's what you guys said. That's what you guys said.
No, the final
you
nail
guys
in the
didn't
coffin
say,
was him.
No.
beating
You
him.
didn't
was-
say
yes,
that. No,
that's
you didn't
exactly
say
what I
that. You said it's stamped because Brady beat Mahomes in the Super Bowl. You didn't say it's stamped because Brady has a better resume.
Well, bro, we already
longevity.
know-
Come
we
on,
already
like,
know his
do you
resume's
want-
ridiculous.
Exactly. Do you want
We
us
know
to
it's
reiterate every
crazy.
single thing that he's ever done?
Yeah.
I'm assuming you know that.
Everyone knows
I'm
he has
just
7
saying,
chips.
Come on.
You made it
Use
seem like
logic.
the only you.
I'm telling you, use logic
This is
there.
what you said word for word.
Dude, I'm telling you,
Bro.
honest to God, it's like you know Tom Brady. You better. Come on. You know
you have
football.
his jersey. You're a Jets fan.
Exactly.
You have his
Like,
Brady jersey.
Do we have to tell
But
you
why
the
is
great
this-
things
why is-
he's
hold
ever
on, hold on.
done?
You don't have to tell me that, but you guys said
It's the
specifically.
final nail. That's it. He can't do it. He lost him. Simple. And he was 44 years
That's
old when
what
he
you're
did it.
saying. That's what you're saying now. But your original statement was that the only reason Brady's going to be better than Mahomes is because he beat him in that.
Do I
head-to-head.
have to put
Only reason.
that
That's what you
caveat
said.
caveat
Yeah.
out there like every time?
Yeah.
And that's why I said
Brady's number 1 in touchdowns. Brady's number 1 in yards, right? But no, we're only talking about the Super Bowl win. Like, come
If
on.
Brady had
That's
one
what I'm
ring,
saying.
that's
That's what I'm saying.
different.
I don't think football is played that way in terms of the head-to-head. I'm not going to judge who's better than somebody based on a head-to-head when you're not even facing them head-to-head.
When you're talking
in
about
all
the two
likelihood.
goats played
it's-
each other?
It's the quarterback versus the defense, not the quarterback versus the quarterback.
I know, but when you have the two, obviously Mahomes isn't there yet, but hypothetically, if Mahomes is the second best quarterback ever, and you have Brady, the best quarterback ever, and they're back and forth, their stats are damn near similar, but Brady won over Mahomes, even though it was against the Chiefs defense, I 100% understand.
Facts.
Brady beat Mahomes in the Chiefs.
Okay,
and the
so
defense.
Breeze is better than Payne, right? Right?
People do unfortunately
I wouldn't-
argue
like,
that.
I'm not pushing back on that. I'm not pushing
Drew.
back.
I'm asking you, Drew. So Breeze is better than Payne because even
Well,
though
Drew's
Payne,
not. He's a Payton fan.
even though Payne has all the MVPs, Breeze has none. You'll put Breeze over Payne
Bro,
because
what I
of
say?
the Super Bowl.
What I say? I said when you're talking about
Because
the
of the
two
head-to-head.
goats, when you're talking about the two best, and you want to say who is the greatest ever, when you're talking about the 4th and 5th best quarterback ever, there's more things that go into it for me.
That's the specifics of it. You're arguing the specifics of the GOAT.
Yes.
But in the generality of it is you're arguing players. So by your logic, you're arguing this guy's better because of the head-to-head over him.
When we're
That's what
talking,
you're saying.
it is a very, very small group who could ever be in
So
the
Joe,
GOAT
let me ask you.
conversation.
But this is a generality of who's better than who, and this is the basis we're comparing them off of.
But we're talking about the best ever.
So I want to ask you, is Breeze better than Peyton Manning?
Can we stop asking this question?
It's hard. I mean, if you're talking just regular season, Peyton has everything.
Payne's the
You know?
greatest regular
Just tell me
season
who's the better
quarterback ever.
quarterback.
It's close, bro. But again, it's like the 5th and 6th best quarterback, so I don't take as much into
Okay,
it.
Payne's 3.
Whatever. Regardless, 3rd and 4th, whatever you want to put it. Payne has all this because I'm saying if Mahomes gets there and he's in that same stratosphere statistically as Brady, which trajectory wise he's
Well, I
going
want
to
you
be
to answer
there.
the question.
I can't
Because
give a
on
fair
your-
answer.
on
I'd have
your-
to look it up.
your-
I don't know off the top of my head.
On your logic, since Breeze beat Payne in the head-to-head, you'll put Breeze over Payne.
But Payne also has 2 chips. Brees has one.
I'll tell you what. The only reason why
We're
Drew
saying
Brees-
this is
Drew
sorry.
Brees does have the conversation because he did beat Payton. I can't front.
Yes, but
No,
Peyton still has 2.
Hold up. I think Payton is better than Brees. And I don't think it's a debate. And just because Brees beat Payton in the Super Bowl, I don't
plays
think
a factor. It low key does.
I really don't think so. I think just because he beat him in the Super Bowl doesn't mean he's a better quarterback. It just means the team as a whole had a better
he has
game.
the numbers. He passed Brady. He passed Payton in
But
yards.
Drew, let me ask you this: was it Drew Brees the one that called the onside kick that was recovered by the special teams, or was that the special teams unit and Sean Payton that called that
was a
play?
fantastic call.
Was it Drew Brees who picked sixth Payton Manning, or was it Tracy Porter?
They were already winning.
It was Tracy Porter.
They were already winning.
But based
Saints
on that
were already
onside
winning.
kick that Sean Payton, because they were losing
down,
at
They
halftime.
were down 10. How did we lose?
So I'm just saying, just because you win in a head-to-head matchup doesn't mean you're the better quarterback.
But it definitely plays a role.
I
I'm not
think Brady.
disagreeing.
I think Brady is going to be he's going to be
You're
better than Mahomes.
taking it way out of context.
Yes.
It's an added factor.
Yes.
It's an
You
added
didn't
factor.
make it sound like an added factor.
But bro,
You
we
made it
already
sound
know
like
you
it's the
perceived it.
defining factor.
No,
Everyone
that's-
knows
yes.
Brady's the GOAT
Yes,
in everything. I don't have to talk
exactly.
about all of his
No.
accomplishments. Everyone knows that.
It's a fact.
The way you said it, you
Again,
made it
that's
sound
how you
like the
interpreted it.
defining
Bro, we
factor.
could've moved
not
on
a-
that
Yeah,
long
dead ass,
ago.
bro. You got this
That's
like
it.
very specific little
Exactly.
thing. Like I don't have to tell you how great Brady is. We would waste everyone's time.
We could do the length of the show talking about how great Brady is.
He's had 2 Hall of Fame careers.
You don't have to educate me on Brady. I know what Brady
exactly.
is.
So
then
why-
I didn't
why
But I'm
should I?
saying,
Why?
but I'm saying, you guys made it sound like the head-to-head was the defining
but we
factor.
heard you like 6
it's
times
a
ago.
factor, not the defining factor.
It's definitely a factor. And if Mahomes and Brady end up being neck and neck, like a lot of people project,
Like if you would have said this, if you would have said Brady's better than Mahomes because just there's no way Mahomes is going to get to the amount of rings that he has.
I also don't think Mahomes does.
Okay, yeah.
This is the hypothetical.
I would be like, okay, but you were like, well, Mahomes won't pass Brady because Brady beat Mahomes in the Super Bowl, and that's it.
That's
That's
just
over.
the added factor.
Number
that's,
one is
that's
Mahomes-
what you said. That didn't sound like
Well, how
okay.
come-
That
why-
sounded like the
that's just
head-to-head
how
is the
you
defining
that's
factor.
how
Bro,
you interpret
I'm
it.
sorry I didn't say I don't think Mahomes is going to get 8 rings because that's ridiculous. So I'll say it now. I don't think Mahomes is going to get 8 Super Bowls. I think maybe he'll be lucky to get 4. But if he did somehow get to 7 rings or even one more than if he got one more than Brady, okay, fine. But if he even somehow got to 6 or 7 and he's in that conversation, then you take into account Brady beat him even though he was twice his age on first year on a new team.
Thank you.
Is that
Jesus
okay? Are we good?
Christ. Come on,
Are we
Joel. We didn't have to
Yes.
do all that.
Alright.
We didn't have to do all that.
I didn't know how to make it obvious. I
Yeah,
didn't think
come
Mahomes would get
on.
7
that
rings.
was so obvious.
I just felt like the entire segment, towards the end of the segment, you were trying to make it a bashing party of Mahomes.
me or him.
Both of y'all.
I hate Brady and I
yes.
love Mahomes. The reason I rooted for Mahomes the 2 Super Bowls because I was like, this is the
It
only
didn't start
guy.
with that. It started with the Herbert, Mahomes. Oh,
But then
this
look,
guy
he just
takes
read
so
you a
much-
fact. He just has
You're
6
telling me.
more
You're
written.
telling me six more turnover-worthy plays is like the defining factor between.
No.
This guy is
No.
reckless
But
and
it's
this
just
guy is safe and
who's been,
conservative.
but that's not. He's just Mahomes has been a little bit more.
It
reckless.
just confirmed my
That's
eye
it.
test. I thought this season Mahomes, or just in general his career, Mahomes has been more risky, and he has been. I'm not saying it's not a bad thing. That's what makes him so
Agreed.
special.
I agree with that.
But he also has some special playmakers that are once in a generation type guys.
So you think Mahomes is better than Herbert?
Yeah, yes, I do.
Yes.
Like I said, I would take Herbert too, but Mahomes would still be 1 for me.
I feel like there's this thing going on where Mahomes isn't the new quarterback in town. And because of that, everybody is trying to discredit everything Mahomes does at every single step.
Again, when you're getting to that level of superstardom, GOAT level, you get scrutinized extra. It's that simple.
I mean, the same thing's going to happen with all these quarterbacks we're talking about. In a year or two from now, Burrow and Herbert, they're going to probably lose playoff games, and they're not going to get off to the best start. And then guys are going to criticize them on a microcosm level because they're not doing these things. I feel like that's going on with Mahomes right now because he's still at a top level, even though, he's regressed. So I don't agree with that, and I think Mahomes is still one of the best guys. We're going to talk about your guy.
Let's do it,
Tua.
baby. Let's do it.
You're rocking a Tua jersey right now.
Oh, goodness. It was almost suspect.
Drew
Here
right
we
now is trying to
we
pucker
go.
up to every single Dolphins
What are you
fan.
talking about? I'm in Finn family. They love me.
He's trying to suck up to them right now.
I'll tell you what it is, really. My dad's a Dolphin fan, so
It's valid.
I get that little
It's so
in.
valid.
I got my
Yeah,
in there.
for sure.
If I recall correctly, a couple shows ago, Drew was like, "I'll never wear a jersey from another player's team."
Cap.
Only rocking my
I've been on
team.
the show with the Derrick Henry jersey, so that's Cap. That's Cap. Go ahead.
The Dolphins are on a 5-game win streak. They beat the Giants 20-9. They are now 6-7. What's been the reason for their win streak? I'll start with you, Drew, since Dolphins fans want to hear you be biased towards Tua once again.
But I'll be honest. It's a great team effort that's been going on, truthfully. Defense has been fantastic these last couple games. These last 5 games, they've been excellent. Defense led up in these 5 games an average of 11 points a game. They have 8 interceptions total, 18 sacks. They've been fantastic. I believe 18 sacks is number 1 in that span of games. They've been fantastic. Jalen Phillips, who just broke the Dolphins rookie record for sacks in a season. I believe he had 8. The record was 8.
8.5.
He passed that this past Sunday. He was great. And then now you want to go and talk about the offense. Because listen, I'll give the credit to the defense. Defense has been great. Just the schedule that's been going on. Dolphins last year, the way that their defense played, we expected them to be a little bit better to come to start the season. But again, Tua wasn't in the lineup. There are a lot of them being on the field, them having to overcompensate. So there's a lot of pressure, a lot of overusage of these guys, and it affected their play a little bit. Now Tua's in the game. Now he keeps them on the field, keeps them off the field, And now we're seeing them be the Dolphins defense that we were accustomed to last season. And they're getting turnovers, which is huge. And Tua is fantastic for that because he knows how to hold the ball. He does not turn the ball over. Now to talk about my guy a little bit. Tua did not have the most flashy game against the Giants. The game plan was simple. Get the ball out.
That's always the game plan.
Not necessarily. I mean, Tua's had games where he's not just throwing dink and dunk passes, but this one specifically, for sure. 21 of 25 on throws, 0 to 9 yards. That was the game plan. Get the ball out. Don't get sacked. The pressure was too much, truthfully, but he made smart plays. I'm fine with that. Now, you want to talk about not just Tua. Of course, Waddle has been excellent. Waddle just broke the record for receptions by a rookie in the season in Dolphins franchise history.
Over 100.
Oh, and the franchise, the NFL record's 101 by Anquan Bolden in 2003.
He might beat that.
Right now, Waddle's at 86.
Oh,
and
yeah,
week 13. I'm praying that Waddle's okay. He did lead the Giants game, I want to say at the beginning of the 4th quarter. So what was the score when Waddle went out? Was it 10-6?
I'm not sure.
Something around that, I believe. So now they lose their best weapon, who I have been adamant on Waddle being the only true elite weapon. So now Tua is here playing with Gesicki, who, again, I'm a big fan of Gesicki when Tua is behind the center. And thankfully, Devontae Parker came back. Devontae Parker had a spectacular catch down the stretch to put this game away. Tua made an excellent throw, but an even better catch by Devontae Parker, truthfully, on the sideline, only where Devontae can shift his body and catch that ball. Fantastic play by both those guys. And then to ice the game, that throw to Gesicki was absolutely mint.
It was.
That throw was perfect. Only a spot that Gesicki can get it. The defenders had no chance to grab it. That throw was the one that iced the game. So ultimately, do I feel like Tua has had a part in this? For sure. But I'm not going to say he's the main part. Tua's been doing what he can with what he's been given. And the defense has been just as great to back that up. Dolphins, like I said, have a strong chance to win out and make a wild card spot. 5-game win streak. I'll pull up the schedule right now.
Jets, Saints, Titans, Patriots.
The only scary matchup I see in that could ruin that prediction for me is New England, Week 18. I 100% believe they could beat the Jets. They beat them in MetLife. Saints, without a true quarterback, I'm not a huge Saints believer, even though that defense is for real. I think that their one hole is passing, and I think that Tua will do a great job of exposing that.
So you're not on the Trevor Siemian board anymore.
It's unfortunate.
I would much rather start Taysom Hill.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, Taysom Hill is just a better football player than Taysom Hill is. It's just that Taysom Hill is athletic. He can open
Trevor
the field.
Siemian is.
Yeah.
What did I say? I'm
You
sorry.
said Taysom Hill. But
Yeah. I got you.
Thank you.
So you think
appreciate
the
that.
Dolphins can win out?
I do genuinely believe they
Will
can.
they win out?
The toughest. It's New England is a tough matchup. That being
so close,
that being
And
said,
you said before the show that if the Dolphins go 3-0 in these next 3 games, which would make them 8-0 on the win streak,
Yeah,
or an
man.
8-game win streak,
Yeah.
you're flying to Miami. You're gonna watch that Patriots
Sir.
game.
me and my pops will be going for
That's so
Christmas.
tough.
I can't wait,
I think the Dolphins would be the first team ever to make the playoffs after starting 1-7.
bro. I think at one point they were what? I'm sorry. What?
1-7, right?
Were they 1-7?
They're 6 and 7 now, right?
They're 5-7 right now. So they went. I believe they were 1-5.
6-7.
Yeah, I was gonna
Are they
say.
6-7?
pretty sure
Oh,
6-7.
I'm sorry. I'm thinking about last week's record. Thank you. But again, 6-7. I do think that it's a possibility. I think they were 1-5. Tua lost the game against
1-7.
Yeah, well, no, because they're 6-7 now, 5-game win streak.
Yeah, exactly.
So
they were
1-7.
They were 1-7.
Oh man, you're right. So this is what I'm thinking.
Here we go.
1-5. Tua gets hurt.
They lost with Tua
Yes,
too.
yeah, they did. They lost
Versus the
they lost
Falcons
to the
and
Jags.
Jaguars.
Falcons actually was Brissett.
No, Tua played. He had 4 touchdowns, 2 picks in that game.
Okay, all right. Hey,
Best game probably.
probably. I believe the stat line against the Jags was
He got
pretty
injured
good too.
versus the Bills the very next week, and Brissett came
Broke
in
his finger,
and
and he
then-
won against the Texans. Yes. So regardless of that fact, I do believe that there's a strong chance they do to at least get to Week 18 and be undefeated. You're not telling me that the Jets and the Saints and the Titans who have been on a downward trend for these last couple of weeks, unfortunately,
It's possible AJ and Julio are back by then.
which would be very, very, very.
What week could they play? 16?
17.
Yeah, I was gonna say AJ and Julio are eligible week 16 or 15. Actually,
So
for
AJ went on the IR not last week.
AJ's eligible to come back week 16.
Okay. Do you think he'll be back?
Probably.
He should be back.
I'll tell you what. If AJ and Julio are there, things get interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
Things
The
get
offense
But you
interesting.
still
will
think
change.
they could beat the Titans.
But I do think the way that the Dolphins have been playing, it's not out of the realm of possibility. The right now against the quarterback, I believe the Titans rank 30th. So it's not crazy to think that Tua lights them up, especially the way that Waddle's been playing, the way that Tua and Gesicki have a great chemistry with one another. I want to see Gaskin be more efficient with his carries. A game where he's had 20 touches and 34 yards. He's averaging 3.4 yards a carry, which is like 40th in the NFL right now. He needs to be more efficient. He's a great receiving back for sure. I'll give him that credit. I just think that it is more than doable for them to go at least into Week 18.
And real quick, Jalen Waddle was only dealing with cramps, so he seems to be fine.
But he did not return.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No, he did not return. I'm telling
But,
you. I know for a fact he didn't.
Yeah, they said Flores provided injury updates, and he said nothing about Waddle, so I'm assuming he's fine.
the Dolphins are one of the more deceptive teams in the NFL. Because their win streak, 5-game win streak, it's giving the fan base hope. It's giving Drew hope. He wants to fly out to Miami, although I would say I would say financially wise, that might be a pretty expensive flight.
Christmas gift. Come on.
You can't play that 3-cup game.
No. Oof, that's
The Dolphins' 5-game win streak, I'll give them credit. They won 5 games in a row. Good job after being 1-7. But the truth is that they haven't faced anybody good outside of the Ravens on this 5-game win streak. You face the Titans, the Ravens, the Jets, the Panthers, the Giants. Want me to name the quarterbacks? Tyrod Taylor, Lamar Jackson. We know Lamar Jackson is great. No disrespect to him.
Yeah, that was rude.
Joe Flacco, Cam Newton, and Mike Glennon. They didn't even face Daniel Jones. They faced Mike Glennon. And he actually played pretty well, but he just made a couple boneheaded mistakes that really cost the Giants some drives. You look at all these teams' rankings. Texans, 32nd ranked offense, 30th ranked defense. Ravens, 16th ranked offense, 9th ranked defense, but that's being generous because this is by points allowed. That's being generous. The Ravens' defense is good at best, or not great. Jets, 26th offense, 32nd ranked defense.
I mean, they're the worst team in the league, arguably.
No, we're not.
Arguably.
Like third worst.
Panthers, 24th ranked offense, 7th ranked defense. If they face a good defense, okay, that's good.
And put up 33.
Giants, 28th ranked offense and 18th ranked defense. The past 5 teams on average that the Dolphins have faced have the 25th ranked defense and the 19th ranked the 25th ranked offense and the 19th ranked defense. Dolphins been playing a bad team every single week.
And it's going to continue.
What's more to say? The schedule is very generous to them. Tua versus the Giants had a good game. 225 in the past 3 games. Tua has thrown 226 yards per game, 5 touchdowns to 1 pick. He's completing 76% of his passes. I'm glad that Tua can complete 5-yard throws consistently. If not, it would worry me as a fan. I'm glad he can do that. He's consistently having Mike White performances. I'm glad at that. You look at Tua.
I love it.
Tua has been good. I'm not going to knock him.
Oh, not going to knock him, but he just exactly.
Just throwing some jokes in there.
Smart call right there.
He's completing 82% of his passes on throws 8 to 9 yards, 0 to 9 yards. 57% of his passes on throws 10 to 19 yards, and 53% of his throws on 20-plus yard throws. And that's a good number because Herbert is at 50%. So, 53% on deep passes is actually a very good number.
I told you, at minimum a game, he takes 2 shots.
But the win streak has been because of the defense. That's really what it's been.
Can't give me a team effort. Like I said, it's been a great team effort.
And I just want to highlight these guys. Christian Wilkins, one of the best DTs in the NFL, 22 pressures on the year, 3 sacks, 6 quarterback hits. Emmanuel Ogbah from KC, who came to the Dolphins last season, 50 pressures. He's been really good. And the rookie class, you mentioned it. Waddle's on pace to break records. Javon Hollins, one of the best safeties in the league. He is everywhere on the field.
100%.
And Jalen Phillips, really damn good. Xavier Howard, when talking about Javon Hollins, said he reminds me a lot of Eric Berry. I think that's a very fine, high-praise comparison.
100%.
And Xavier came back versus the Giants, had an interception in that game. Very great pick. I think the Dolphins are going to win 2 of these next 4 games, for sure. They're 6 and 7 right now. So if they win the next 2 out of the 4, they'll finish 8 and 9. If they win 3 out of the next 4, they'll finish 9 and 8. They won't make the playoffs unless they win out the entire way.
Agreed.
And even then, they might not make it because the Colts are there. They're creeping in. Either the Bengals or the Chargers are going to have to miss the playoffs. If the Colts get in, I mean, AFC's really up for grabs right now. You got really the Raiders still. You got the Broncos, who they're not out of it. There's just a lot of teams in that tier that the Dolphins, if you finish 10 and 7, you're not guaranteed a spot. You have to have some things go your way.
I mean, they went 10 and 6 last year and didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah,
exactly.
This AFC is even tighter than it was last year.
It would be back-to-back 10-win seasons where they don't make the playoffs. When talking about the Dolphins' slow start, 1 and 7, people want to credit Tua for, he's the reason they're 5 and 0. This is the reason why. I just think they've been facing easier teams. Yeah. Because you look at their schedule. They beat the Patriots week 1. Tua played. I thought the Pats should have won that game, neither here or there. I'm not going to, complain about it. Then very next week, Bills versus Dolphins. I mean, in that game, Tua got hurt. Jacoby Brissett played. They lost 35-0. Do I think Tua changes that outcome? No, because, I mean, I just don't diss the Bills. The Bills are just a better team.
That's an ass kicking.
Tua doesn't change the outcome. Dolphins versus Raiders. They lose 31-28.
Jason Sanders, get him out of Miami.
He was so good last year.
Get him out of Miami. They have 3 losses of 3 points. Get him out of there.
Do I think the Dolphins beat the Raiders with Tua? I think your chances are about the same. Versus the Colts. Do they beat the Colts with Tua? I think the Colts started to roll. That was their first easy team of the first couple of games they played. Talk about the Bucs. Are they beating the Bucs? No way. In hell. They're beating the Bucs. Why are you doing They're not beating the Bucs.
Why are you doing this?
Then versus the he lost versus the Jaguars. Oh, Tua played in that game. He lost to the Jags.
Sucks.
That's a bad
I will admit the refs made a bad call on special teams that cost the Dolphins that game. Nonetheless, very next week versus the Falcons, shootout. Tua lost. I mean, Tua, they've been winning because the defense has stepped up and they've been facing bad competition. Because Tua has played versus teams like Jacksonville, versus teams like Atlanta, and lost. It hasn't been until the defense started to get it going where they're winning now. And like I'm saying, look, Tua, he's a good quarterback. He's a fine quarterback. And do I think he gets a lot of unnecessary criticism? There is no doubt. I think he 100% does. But because people are starting to notice that he gets a lot of unfair criticism, people are starting to sympathize with him a little bit more and starting to overrate him now and giving him all the credit. That's not how it works. He's been good. He's been fine. He got a lot of unnecessary hate, but don't get it twisted. He's just a good quarterback. Nothing more, nothing less.
Now, before you say anything,
sure.
Just go ahead. Things I'm picking up.
I know. It's your topic.
Is it arguable that Tua Tagovailoa is the most accurate passer in the NFL?
Nope.
He is statistically. But look at A-Dot.
Now, for sure. When you're just watching Tua throw the ball, and it's Tagovailoa.
Yeah.
Tagovailoa.
Tonga Tunga. I got to be versed. If I'm going to be the leader and the president of the Tua Tagovailoa fan club, I need to know how to pronounce his name. That being said, just watching, there are just some throws that I see Tua make that I am genuinely wowed.
So just watching, you think he's arguably the most accurate quarterback in the NFL?
Probably not better than Rodgers. I mean,
that was the first thing that came
So
to
he's
mind.
better than Kyler, accuracy-wise.
Oh, no.
What about Tom Brady?
No.
What about Justin Herbert?
Debatable.
It's not debatable.
Herbert's taking more shots.
Yeah. The thing is, if he had time, his average time in the pocket is 2.2 seconds.
No, it's
like,
terrible.
dude,
Worst line in the league for
come
passing.
on. It's like he's only making these throws because he has to.
I mean, that's the Dolphins' design.
Again, and like you mentioned, his percentage on deep balls is 56%, which is higher.
53%.
53%, which is higher than Herbert. And over 50%.
No, it's not higher. Herbert's is higher.
I thought you said Herbert's was 50.
I said that 53% is a good number because good quarterbacks are around the 50% mark on deep passes.
I thought you said his.
Because
was higher
I
than
know when
Herbert.
people hear 50%, it doesn't sound good.
I also thought you
but
said Herbert had 50%.
for a deep pass, it's a good percentage.
Do you have Herbert's?
Herbert's is 56%.
I could have.
It's 56 or 54%. It's one of those.
King, I'm almost positive you said that Tua had a higher deep ball percentage than Herbert.
Tua has a lower one, 50 to 53%, but Herbert's is like right there.
Okay. All right. So regardless of that, deep balls, again, people say that he doesn't take the shots, but accuracy-wise, he can throw the ball deep. He has that ability. Again, and I understand that against the Giants, he a lot of his throws were short passes, but when it mattered most, he made some decent throws down the field.
Yeah.
To Devontae, that was a dot on the sideline that only Devontae Parker could get to.
Nice grab.
That was a guy that you said the Dolphins only have one true weapon, and Devontae.
I do believe that.
Shut you up.
One elite weapon. Waddle's elite. Would you say Devontae Parker's elite?
Oh,
I
no.
think he's a great weapon, though.
Devontae Parker's a guy.
He's not just a guy.
You're very mean to Devontae Parker.
Bro,
Joel is
Devontae Parker has legitimately had one good season in 7 years.
But he's never really had Adam Gase. That's all I'll say. And then he leaves, and then Devontae Parker is a beast.
And then what happens?
He's been hurt though.
Okay, but he's always hurt.
But no,
that's
last season again,
that's not a
we spoke about
Devontae
it. No,
Parker
I understand.
topic. So
we can make it
keep going about
it's a Dolphins topic.
Yeah, facts.
But overall, when he needs to make the deep ball, he can. He can. It's not like he doesn't want to or is trying not to. It's that he has no time to. Let them get a line this offseason, excuse me. We'll see what happens. Because he is electric when he has actual time to throw the ball.
Tell me he's a top 5 accurate quarterback.
Yeah, I would say that. Top 5 is pretty fair.
Brady, Rodgers, and Kyler.
Yeah, that's it.
No doubt.
Rodgers.
Kyler is
Derek Carr is more accurate than
Tua.
Tua.
Kyler is very accurate. It's a similar.
Kirk is more accurate than
Hear
Tua.
me out. Kyler and Tua are extremely similar in terms of how they can throw the football. The difference is that
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with
Let
that.
me finish.
Okay.
The difference is that Kyler has time to sit and make these throws.
He had Tom last
crazy
year.
throws on the run.
Oh, no, for sure. And so Tua has some great throws on the run. Listen, this throw against the Jets where he's getting blindsided, he steps up in the pocket and throws the ball like 50 yards.
It's a great throw.
Off his back foot. But if he gets time, we're going to see him be a Kyler Murray-esque player.
Ooh.
In terms of arm talent.
Kyler,
in terms of arm
see
talent.
what's happening?
I don't know, bro. The way
Now
Kyler
we're overrating Tua.
The way Kyler throws, he does it so effortlessly that he
So does
just.
Tua.
I feel like Tua puts his all into almost every throw.
You think so?
I feel like he just has
Maybe
a lot
it's
of
the left-
movement.
That you're just being discriminatory towards lefties.
Possibly, because we
Yeah.
don't see it often.
I
But
know.
I just feel like Tua has a lot of like movement in his throwing motion. Like I feel like he has to use his entire body to throw.
That's
when
just the
Kyler,
mechanics.
I feel like Kyler just flick of the wrist. Like Rodgers is the goat at that, but I feel like
For
Kyler
sure.
has that same kind of thing where he just like it's very effortlessly. He could just flick his wrist and it goes 50 yards.
So
I
based
feel
on
like
this,
Tua's like
so you're
ramping up.
So you're just saying Tua's more accurate based on this season on the stats. So
I mean, he's only been in the league 2 years, and last
no,
year he only played.
I know, but you think he's more accurate than Derek Carr or Kirk Cousins?
Ah, man, he dots throws.
He does.
Dots throws.
He has really good ball placement.
His
Yeah.
placement is fantastic. Maybe I should say ball placement. Like, is that
They go
is
hand in
basically?
hand.
I'm all on
accuracy.
board with you saying. See, this is why we got into this 25-minute debate about Brady and Mahomes.
I know the semantics.
Because
Tell me what your issue is.
The specifics that you're talking about is that he's arguably the best. I don't think he's
yes, I
arguably the
understand.
best.
All right, he's one of the best. Thank you.
He's up there
Sorry,
with
I
Kyler.
know. Listen, I think he can get to that. I do think so.
Dude.
Listen, and you know how high I am on Kyler.
Yeah, I know.
love Kyler Murray.
Tua is probably number 2 for you.
Probably.
Yeah.
Joe, give your input on this because I think this is a
Being a dead horse at this point.
This is just blasphemous.
You guys already said a ton of what I was going to say in terms of the win streak.
I honestly just want you to react to what Drew said about him being Kyler.
No, I already said this.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
bro, we talked about it in the debate last week about if Tua was getting too much unfair criticism. Like, when you look at the eye test, Kyler jumps off the screen rookie year.
It's because he can run.
But it's also the way he throws the ball, and like I just feel like the velocity on the ball, his placement are all better than Tua's. Tua is I don't know if I'm putting him top 5.
Placement's better than Kyler.
It's right up there.
That's close.
Tua, I mean, Kyler was the most accurate quarterback in the league before he got injured.
He's number 1 in completion percentage.
And I already know what Tua's stat line is going to be next week. He's going to have 30 completions for like 230 yards.
They're playing the Jets.
He's going to have 30 completions for 230 yards.
No, he's not. He's about to light y'all up.
Okay, listen, maybe. But I just feel like I already know each week going into it what Tua, like his completion percentage and his stats in terms of attempts to completions is going to look great. He'll have like 7 incompletions, but his yardage is never there.
So, Drew, you call Tua one of the most accurate quarterbacks in the NFL. I don't totally disagree with that statement, but I'm going to name you some quarterbacks. You tell me who's more accurate, Tua.
This is where I get lit up on TikTok. Here we go.
Here we go.
Joel, you're going to count, so you count.
All right.
I'm counting. Okay.
Kyler Murray.
Kyler.
Mac Jones.
Easy Tua.
Wait, I'm sorry. Am I counting how many he says he's
He's not better than.
He's not better.
So
okay,
one is Kyler. Yeah, don't count the ones he said.
Kyler for sure.
Dak Prescott.
I'm going to have to think on that one because Dak is another one that has really good ball placement, but I do think that Tua has the ability to surpass Dak. So right now, it's so hard. I'll probably go Dak.
Joe Burrow.
Tua.
Tom Brady.
Tom.
Matt Ryan.
Tua.
Derek Carr.
That's Derek's claim to fame. I'm going to go Tua.
Russell Wilson.
This is so unfair to Russ. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. He's been injured, so obviously, things are a little bit skewed. I'm just going to go out of respect and say Russ. Thank you.
Matthew Stafford.
Your third favorite quarterback.
Tua.
Justin Herbert.
In terms of ball placement, I'm going Tua. I had to throw that in there because I know it's getting clipped.
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron.
Ryan Tannehill.
Aaron. Excuse me, Tua.
Josh Allen.
Tua.
Mahomes.
Tua.
Lamar.
Tua. Oh, my God.
That was rude.
Sorry, bro. You saw the game against the Browns.
He looked bad.
And those are the only quarterbacks I'm going to mention because the list is narrowing down.
Okay,
how much was
You're
that?
at 6.
Okay.
Which I'm fine with.
6 most accurate.
Russ, you have to give him because Russ is just a pinpoint passer. That's just what he is. Dak is the only one out of those guys that I'm thinking.
That throw to CD was crazy.
Yo, did that catch that didn't count by CD? That one hit,
that
bro.
was crazy too.
What?
Yeah, I think Tua's around there. He's
I agree.
He's 10 to 15 for me, but 6,
10 to
whatever.
15.
Yes.
Accuracy wise,
I think Herbert's more accurate, bro.
I don't know.
Herbert places 50-yard
Herbert's arm
bombs.
his arm is better.
No, but the throws 50 yards down the field.
Again,
he's more accurate on those.
We don't see it we see it often.
Well, you can't
from
see
Herbie.
it. Tua can't throw a 60-yard, 50-yard plus
Against
pass.
the Jets. It was damn near 50 yards.
Tua can't do that, bro.
What do you?
Not
I
as
saw it. I was
consistently as
there.
Herbert can.
Again, because he doesn't have.
I mean, Herbert has the best
opportunity.
arm in the league,
Yes.
arguably.
I mean,
one or two
exactly.
probably. So, I mean, can't really. He's a special arm that very few quarterbacks have ever had.
In terms of almost everything, I lean Herbert, except in terms of ball placement.
Just to let you know, also Tua on throws 10 to 19 yards, he completes 56% of his passes. Joe Burrow, 77% in that area.
Oof. That's also a very small 9 yards, but still, it's impressive. Very
10
impressive.
to 19.
Yeah. I know. I'm saying it's a 9 yard
I know
sample.
what you mean. Yeah.
So, that just goes to show. Whether you have 2 or 6, top 10, top 15 really doesn't matter to me. It is what it is. Cool. Drew just got elected to be the Tua fan club.
president of the fan club,
Only
yeah.
if you'll have me, Miami. Only if you'll have me.
they'll have you, bro.
I was gonna say I thought you were already inducted.
They really did stamp me in officially, man.
Dolphins fans need a Tua spokesperson.
Hey, I can be that.
And
I love him.
that's
We
true
have so many
because
things in common. Come on.
he's
guys are both
delusional
lefty.
about Tua
It's
like
really
them.
it. Curly hair.
Said, oh yeah, me and Lamar just alike too. Both righty.
Tua Tunga Vailoa.
Tonga. Yep.
Tunga. Sounds very Hawaiian.
It is.
It is.
He is
I was gonna say
Hawaiian.
it's
He
Hawaiian
is.
as hell.
Yeah.
Who's more accurate, him or Mariota?
Come on.
Jesus,
Now I'm playing with you.
that was rude.
What
Tua's
about
going to go
Simeon?
down
The greatest what?
greatest Hawaiian football player ever.
Is he more
Better than
accurate than...
Manti Te'o?
Soft subject. Yeah, I'll
Is
be
he
honest.
more
That's kind of
accurate
rude. There's a
than,
lot of good Hawaiian football players. I should have said greatest
Junior
Hawaiian
Seau?
quarterback player. There you go.
Is he more accurate than Teddy B?
Yes, I would absolutely do anything for Tua to be my quarterback next season.
Might be.
Anything.
Who knows?
Yo,
Dolphins don't like
Russ,
him.
baby. I can't get ahead of
This is
myself.
what happens, bro. He was the most annoying, like 2 or 3 years ago.
2013.
When Kawhi we thought was going to the
Oh,
Lakers,
snap.
bro. There was never a more annoying person than him. If any superstar is going to Drew's team, you legitimately can't talk to him because this is how he gets. He gets all
I get
giddy and hype, and I'm like, bro.
I'm sorry. I genuinely
I
get
was
excited.
so excited when Kawhi went to the Clippers because I would not be able to take it from him, bro.
That is so rude.
Nah, they would have made the league unfair if he went to the
Yeah,
Lakers.
that
Man,
too.
we already
That
seen
also
it happen.
too. That
That would've
also
been,
too.
It would have been my time. I would have needed that.
My time, bro's been a LeBron fan. Like,
What are you talking about? KD came to the Warriors and ruined it. I was sad. I was depressed.
still
Hate
got
that
one.
man. Thank God. Well, you did. You're right. 2020.
yeah,
Thank God.
never again, maybe.
Lamar Jackson has been playing the best as of recently. The Ravens lost to the Steelers 19-20. Lamar on the season has close to 2,900 passing yards, 16 touchdowns, 13 picks. He's 18th in QBR. And in the last 3 games, he has 3 touchdowns and 6 picks. Do you think Lamar is getting a pass for playing poorly? Because before, it used to be Lamar, he plays great. People ignore it. They still find that one critique. But now we see Lamar is actually not playing up to his potential, and it doesn't seem like too many people are criticizing him as much as they did before when he was playing great, ironically.
Yeah, I think Lamar is having arguably the worst season of his career so far. Statistically, I mean, earlier in the year, the eye test was telling me, because early in the year, his numbers were very similar to last season's, where he came down from the MVP level. But I thought just the eye test, the way he was throwing the ball, was very impressive, and I thought he improved.
Confidently as well.
Yeah, but this year, I mean, across the board, his numbers are down. His career low in QBR and passer rating. His turnovers are up. He's also taken the most sacks in his career with 6 games left to play. But with that being said, I mean, the Ravens are still 8-4. They're going to make the playoffs. They could potentially still win a playoff game because you're going to have Lamar. You have a good chance of whoever you're playing, your quarterback's probably better than them. The Ravens as a whole this season, I'm kind of throwing out. You know, like, maybe it's not fair because every team deals with injuries, but like from literally August, they've been dealing with just gruesome injuries to almost to 2 really key positions. One being running back. And obviously their entire scheme is based on running the football. They had the retirement home out there with Latavius Murray, Devontae Smith, and Le'Veon Bell at one point, right? They lost J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards, and Justice Hill. You know, I don't even know how that happens all in the same room. They must have had, someone was in the water or something in Baltimore. But then they lost both their star corners with Marcus Peters and Marlon Humphrey. Lost their starting safety to Sean Elliott, starting left tackle Ronnie Stanley, who was supposed to take that leap after they traded
Orlando Brown
to KC earlier in the offseason. And then they also were out their first round pick, Rashad Bateman, for 5 weeks. So does that give a valid excuse for Lamar's poor play? I think, because I'm one of the biggest Lamar fans, I think he's potentially to be elite, maybe not as a passer, but just overall as a quarterback. But he's had games this season against the Colts, against the Chiefs, where he's elevated the team, and I think he could do that. I just think this season, when you have so many injuries, especially to the most important piece, being the running backs and how this offense is run, I'm kind of giving the Ravens and Lamar a little bit of a break because they're still 8-4 and going to make the playoffs. If this happened to a lot of other teams, we wouldn't be saying the same thing.
A lot of what you're saying is basically what I'm going to say truthfully. Only issue that I have with Lamar this season that he's turned the ball over a lot. I believe he's tied for second right now with interceptions, has fumbled 6 times and lost the ball 3 times. But 3 of those fumbles did come week 1. He's gone a good stretch of games without fumbling. Did just fumble most recently against the Steelers. But again, like you mentioned, they're still winning. They're still right in the hunt for the not just any regular seed, the number 1 seed in the AFC. They're 8-4. They're behind the Titans right now. They're still, I think they have some kind of differential above the Chiefs. So going right now, they're third in the AFC. But do I think that they'll get the 1 seed? No. But regardless of all that, you mentioned the laundry list of injuries that the Ravens have experienced. Defensively, offensively, both sides of the ball, they've been decimated across the board. It's hard when you're trying to do it all by yourself, and that's what we're witnessing from Lamar Jackson. He's trying to play the hero ball that we spoke for 80 minutes about with Patrick Mahomes and Herbert, but we're actually seeing it take a negative toll for an offense with the Ravens. Lamar is still one of the best rushers in the league. He has over 700 rushing yards in the NFL. He's one of the best rushers, period, in the NFL, running back or quarterback. It's just that his passing has been sketchy for me. This game against the Browns, they play any other team. Any other team is probably rude. They play a notch above the Browns. They're losing that game. You don't make 3 terrible errant throws like that where it's basically right at the defender and somehow win the game. But I'm going to give Lamar his credit still. He had two great games that stand out to me. Against the Colts, that comeback win was basically all Lamar. He did his thing that night. And then against the Browns, where I'm criticizing his throws early in that game, he still came back and threw an unbelievable pass to Mark Andrews, scrambling out of the pocket. They had like this little animation where Myles Garrett comes basically unblocked, and you see Lamar Jackson's little blurb just running all over the field.
Like a next-gen stat thing.
Dude, and then he just puts a very great ball to Mark Andrews where only he can make that, and it was a touchdown. I think that where we're seeing the bad, we're still seeing some good. He's been put in a tough situation, and they're still winning. If they were the Browns, for instance, if they were 6-6 and they were third or something in the division, then yes, I would start to say, Lamar, pick it up. But no team has seen injuries the way that the Ravens had, because obviously teams do have injuries, but it's not just regular people. I mean, you're losing J.K. Dobbins, who's supposed to be their running back 1, Marlon Humphrey, and Marcus Peters. So not just your cornerback 1, your cornerback 2 on top of it. It's hard to win when you have injuries like that. So yeah, I'm gonna give him a pass because I know what Lamar Jackson is. I know who he can be. It's just he's been put in an unfortunate situation that some quarterbacks have to go through.
Well, this is what I've said all along. I've always said Lamar.
Here he goes.
Lamar.
He goes. Because you know what? I didn't want to take my victory lap because he's already down. Lamar's down right now. It's unfortunate. It's obvious Kyler Murray's better than Lamar Jackson. I didn't want to take that victory lap. But here he goes, backtracking on his word. It's disgusting. It's disgusting.
It's funny that I really caught you. That wasn't what I was gonna say.
Oh yeah, really? Joking. He's lying. He's lying.
I was just joking.
He's
I would
lying.
never do that.
I would never flip flop. I'm just pick a side. Get out of here.
I'll never do that. Lamar Jackson, I'm not too worried about him, but I will say this: there are 2 teams leading their division in the AFC currently that are pretenders, that are not going to do anything come playoff time. And frankly, I wouldn't be surprised if they don't even finish atop of their division. The Ravens, I'll start off with the Ravens.
Yep.
The Ravens are not doing anything in the playoffs. The injuries have dismantled their team. They're too Lamar Jackson-centric. I feel bad for Lamar because even though he hasn't been playing his best, they're asking him to do damn near everything. And as much as you want to rave about Hollywood Brown, I mean, this guy, he disappears. The only consistent guy is Mark Andrews. At this point, should have probably called for Auden Tate and got him in the room.
Oh, God.
He would have been a big-bodied receiver.
Divisional.
Yeah, Auden,
trade.
Mr. Tate. He would have done what Hollywood wishes he could do, which is catch contested catches. That's that boy Auden Tate. Now, let's talk.
It's like 4-4.
This was terrible. But go on.
Now let's talk about the. Let's talk a little about the Ravens.
He could have said
anybody.
Else.
You could have said Keelan Cole. I said okay.
The defense, Auden Tate is better than Keelan Cole.
Oh my God, bro! You're crazy. You're crazy. You're crazy, bro.
Disrespectful.
You're crazy.
I'm gonna let you slide this time.
Keelan Cole actually puts up numbers in yards. Auden Tate doesn't.
It's gonna happen when you play for the Jaguars, man.
All right, bro. We'll see.
Leave it to deal it
For the Jaguars.
So Ravens.
Only place gonna start.
They're too Lamar Jackson centric. The defense is good. It's not great. So, some days they can be very bad. Then the Tennessee Titans. They've been dismantled by injuries. Their defense has been playing much better. But Ryan Tannehill has regressed, and I don't blame it solely on him because he's running for his life every single play. The offensive line stinks. Ryan Tannehill has no time. I think he's shell-shocked from all the hits he's taken this year. Same thing can be said for Lamar. Henry is out. We're not sure when he's coming back. A.J. Brown, Julio constantly hurt. They have to get healthy. The Ravens and the Titans are both pretenders. When talking about the AFC South, Colts can very well win that division still. They can. Even though my pick was Tennessee before the season, injuries happen, man. What can I say? And the Bengals can win the AFC North. I know that they're an inconsistent bunch, but when talking about the talent, they have more talent than the Ravens right now. They just have to be consistent, which is a big, big question mark. But talent-wise, they're a better team to me than the Ravens. Those are the two pretenders. The offense is too Lamar Jackson-centric. I'm not blaming Lamar for this season. I feel like because of this social media age, quarterbacks can't have a season to struggle. Every single time a quarterback has a down season, he sucks, replace him, he's no good. I'm glad those narratives aren't circulating with Lamar, but we see them circulating with Baker this season, even though he's been hurt. He's dealt with 3 to 4 injuries.
Come on, don't put those two in the same category.
And last year, the same thing happened with who? Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz had a down year. And last year I said this. I said, stop overreacting.
Yeah.
Big Ben had a year where he threw 15-plus interceptions. Eli had a year where he threw more interceptions than touchdowns. I said, don't overreact. Every great quarterback has a down year. Last year was Carson Wentz's. Now we see this season, he's picking it back up. And if he has another season like this, he's going to be back in that top 12 conversation.
Agreed.
Like he was before. Lamar Jackson is just having a down season. It is what it is. But let's not over-exaggerate over this because this is just a down year.
No arm Lamar.
No arm
Said
Lamar
it
is
all
so
along.
rude.
The one I was going to go that way.
I was going to say, the one thing I would
I'm
say
glad. Thank you.
is maybe this is more than anything just kind of, it puts quarterbacks into two boats. Can you elevate your team, which is like what Lamar can, or are you more like Wentz, who is a solid quarterback, but he can't overcome what the Eagles' dysfunction was last season?
Do you notice this, though? Mahomes has a couple bad games. Still is like top 8 in every single quarterback stat.
Might be first in yards still.
And everybody's saying he's regressing. Man, he's
Brady
regressed tremendously.
Top 5.
He's regressed tremendously. But Lamar Jackson, 16 touchdowns, 13 picks on the year.
Have you heard tremendously?
Not a peep from him.
You're saying for Lamar?
They have said that the league started to figure out Mahomes. That's what the narrative was this year.
Who's saying that?
I don't know.
Look,
They said the league figured out Lamar,
Oh,
too.
you know what? Okay.
In the offseason.
I'll tell you.
Then Lamar started off hot. That started to go away. Now Mahomes was the target. That's what I'm saying.
I'll tell you what, Joel, you're right.
It wasn't
People did come out and say that they figured out the Chiefs' offense.
Lamar is playing poorly, and I'm not saying that people should criticize him for it, but I'm saying that you don't hear much people talking about it.
Not that they figured out the Chiefs' offense, though, but, I mean, they're very limited
game
this year
plan,
compared
yes.
to previous years.
But like I said, what should they do? Start being a little bit more running back oriented. You see them start to have some success. Just hit the checkdowns. Opens up the field so much more.
We beat that.
Oh, yeah.
We beat that horse for
exactly
months.
No arm Lamar.
That's just rude.
That's so foul.
I just think Lamar is able, like, it wouldn't shock me if they won a playoff game. It would, if Derrick Henry doesn't play, I would be shocked if the Titans win. But if Lamar plays, you have a chance in every game. He's just special like that.
He is. Thing is, you're
They're
losing
gonna be
a
facing a
lot of
wild
guys
card team,
defensively.
I mean, depends where if
they
they're winning the division or they're making a wild card.
Every division winner faces a wild card. So
Yeah.
you're right.
Yeah,
But
so
if they face the Bengals, you have them in that game.
I
think
agree.
it go either way.
No, 100%.
Division game,
Yeah.
anything can happen.
Yeah.
What about if they face the Colts?
I'm taking Colts 10 out of 10 times.
I love the Colts. I put a little money on them to win the Super Bowl.
Ooh.
What's
plus
another team?
5,000.
What if they face the Chargers? They beat the Chargers already.
They face
They
the Dolphins.
smoked them.
but I don't
What's
think
happening?
that'll happen again. They'll beat the Dolphins, bro.
They just got smoked by
They
the
Nobody's
got to
gonna
have
want
bro. I don't know how Greg Roman has never seen cover 0 before because it was a joke that he couldn't beat it.
Yeah.
A joke.
Yeah.
Come on, bro. You don't know what a slant is? Like, bro, Hollywood's beating you a slant in the slot 1-on-1. Make it happen.
That's what happened with Adam Gase versus the Patriots Monday Night Football. Sam Darnold ghost game.
Yeah, but Adam Gase, bro, it's Adam Gase. He can't figure out any coverage.
I mean, Greg Roman's passing concepts are very elementary.
Yeah, there was
Defenses figure them out.
I was gonna say
quickly.
there's a lot
Bills?
of talk about. I'll take the Bills, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Bills, Chiefs, Pats, easy.
Chargers.
Bills, Chiefs, Pats. I'm taking them. Everyone else up for grabs.
Outside of the Colts, in my opinion.
I think
would
the
also take
Colts
the Colts.
would 100% beat them.
I'm taking the Colts.
I don't know about
Mr. Wentz.
100%.
No, they would 100%. Listen, Colts are one of the best teams in the AFC right now.
They
At
are.
least they're
They're fourth
playing like
best.
it.
Yeah.
You could, yeah. I think, okay. They could be debated the third.
Oh, sneak peek of your power rankings?
Yeah,
Sneak
low
peek.
key.
I hope
That's
they're
a
fourth.
sneak-
I think that's what I have them.
I definitely have them very high. But,
You're wearing your Tua jersey right now.
Yeah.
You are a Broncos fan despite
hold on.
Uh-oh.
Come on. Out of respect.
Yo, you're crazy, bro.
Listen.
If you're listening, he just took off the Tua jersey, and he's throwing on a Denver Broncos bucket hat. Both orange, so I'll give you that.
Come on.
You look like you're an assistant coach.
Here we go. Let's ride.
You look like Vic Fangio.
I'll take that as a compliment.
That's your guy again?
Defensively, he holds it down.
He does.
He's
Our
not better than
offense
Vance
stinks.
Joseph, though.
Ooh.
I'm taking Vic.
Hell no.
I'm taking Vic.
Yeah, you saw
What did Vance Joseph do for us?
You had the 7th ranked defense.
Because we had the talent.
Yeah, I don't have the talent right now. Fangio?
We're
Your defense
young.
has been solid this year,
Exactly.
though.
No,
Like,
it's been
that's
great. I mean, look
yeah.
what we did against the Chiefs.
Let's
If,
say
if we had any type of offense outside of Javante, we win this game. Let's go to the topic.
Russell Wilson is reported that he would accept a trade
Talk.
to the Saints, Giants, and Broncos. Now, right now, Drew, sitting to the left of me, he's wearing a Broncos bucket hat. He's a Broncos faithful despite what the Dolphins jersey might have dictated. He is a Broncos fan.
Correct.
And he would love Wilson on the Broncos. Now, I want to get you,
firstborn, gone. Give me Russ.
I'm pretty sure
It's crazy.
where you stand. You think the best possible destination for Russell Wilson is the Denver Broncos. So right now, make your pitch to Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson, if you're watching, this is Drew's pitch to you to join the Broncos.
Russell, I'm looking right at you, okay? You're an excellent quarterback. When healthy, top 5. At the minimum. Oh, you would change our franchise so quickly. We're one piece away, and that's you, Russell. Jerry Jeudy, Cortland's son, KJ Hamler when he comes back, praying for you, KJ. Javonte Williams, we saw what he can do this past Sunday. We got special pieces on this offense. And it's just going to take one special guy to change everything to make us Super Bowl contenders. And that's you, Russ. We got a great defense, too. I mean, Seattle hasn't helped you in that regard. Sure, you got Bobby, but do you got the multiple pieces that we have? I don't know if we bring Callahan back, but we got Surtain, Justin Simmons, arguably the best safety in the league.
You don't have Calvin Pryor with wristbands.
I don't know, man. Irrelevant to me. Bradley Chubb, Shelby Harris, great locker room presence. You would get along so well with them. I know for a fact. Come take a trip to Denver. Just see the vibe. I know for a fact you're going to enjoy it. Bring Sierra along with you. All due respect. God bless her. Hope she's doing well. Hope the kids are doing okay. Just know we're great people in Broncos country, and we would love to have you. Take care of us.
Drew said all that and has never been to Denver.
That was beautiful.
Have you ever been to Denver?
One of these days.
One of these days.
It's far away.
Bro said,
deep. It's
Bro
deep.
said we'll love you in Broncos country. Like he's from Denver.
Broncos country travels.
Listen, Broncos, we really are one piece away. We bring in Russ, man. Jerry Jeudy just takes the ultimate leap. What's been infuriating me is that we're not incorporating him more. I saw it happen a little bit against the Chiefs, but barely at that. I understand Sutton's really good, but Jeudy is something else.
Sutton's been bad this year.
I know, and I think he leads the league, if not leads the league, but is number 2 in total area.
Total air yards, yeah. I saw that too.
Russ would really change everything. And I will hand to God, we get Russell Wilson opening day, I'm there. I don't care what I have going on. I am in Denver, in the Mile High Club.
So I don't think there's any point to talk about these other two teams in terms of what you think, because we know what you want Russell Wilson in a Denver Broncos uniform.
I would do
now,
anything.
Joel, what team are you thinking of? Are you thinking about the same team, about the Broncos?
I'll be honest, I am. I think for a few reasons. Number one, I think it would just make the AFC West a madhouse. You have Mahomes, Herbert, and Russ. Derek Carr is obviously good too, but those top three, I mean, you're going to make the argument all of them being top 5 next season. But it is interesting because I find it very similar to when the Broncos got Peyton Manning back in 2012, 2013. You know, you had 2 aging quarterbacks who still had multiple, probably elite years left, but they were both dealing with injuries the previous season. Peyton's more serious with the neck injury out for the whole year. But they both seemed like they should have won more, right? Peyton only had a ring. Russ only had a ring. It seemed like they were in Super Bowls, but they just couldn't get it done for whatever reason. Peyton came to Denver. Multiple good running backs. We had McGahee, No-Show Moreno. We know now Javonte and Melvin Gordon. We'll see if Melvin Gordon's still there.
Anderson was very solid.
He was too. A great wide receiver core with Demarius Thomas and Eric Decker. Got Wes Welker. Julius Thomas was there too. Now you have Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, Noah Fant. And then a defense that was ready to win now. You had a young Von Miller, but then you had Champ Bailey, Chris Harris, Elvin Dumerville. That name really brought me back. Elvis Dumerville, sorry. So I look at these and I'm like, wow, this is...
Brian Dawkins also. I think he was gone, actually.
This is like Peyton Manning 2.0, right? And if you look from Russ's side of things, coming to Denver, he's upgrading everywhere. You have a better coaching staff. Probably a slight downgrade at receiver with DK and Lockett, but still, you have multiple good receivers. Jerry Jeudy, I think, could be elite. Cortland Sutton is kind of taking a step back, but you still have Tim Patrick, KJ Hamler, and you have 2 good tight ends. So the weapons are there. Upgrade at tight end, too. I don't think Gerald Everett's any special. O-line for sure. Defense for sure. They're instant Super Bowl contenders if they get Russ.
I agree with you guys. I think Russell Wilson makes the Broncos Super Bowl contenders.
I'm holding them back. I really am.
I think he makes them Super Bowl contenders, but that's not where I want to see him go.
That's mean. That's so mean. We're supposed to be friends.
Russell Wilson has chosen these 2 teams that he would accept a trade to: the Saints, the Giants, and the Broncos. The Broncos are the best situation, in my opinion. But I want to see Wilson go to the New York Giants. The city of New York needs some life. What better way to bring that life than Russell Wilson? Russell Wilson with Saquon Barkley. Russell Wilson, Saquon Barkley, Kenny Galladay, Kadarius Toney, Sterling Shepard,
Javonte greater than Saquon. I'm sleep.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
The Giants have one of the worst offensive lines in football. The Broncos have a better offensive line. But then you look at the Giants' defense. It's not great. It's not good. It's middle of the pack. That's what they are. Last year they were very good, but this year they're just middle of the pack. I think they'll get better once Blake Martinez returns next season. They'll be better. I just think Russell Wilson with the Giants is going to make the NFC East a dogfight with the Cowboys versus the Giants. The city of New York is going to have more life. Kind of New Jersey because they play in New Jersey. But, man, Russell Wilson in the big blue, at the big blue, wearing the big blue with the Giants, with the New York football Giants, I think it makes so much sense. And Russell Wilson has to think about his kids in Sierra. Would Sierra rather go and live in Denver or New York
in
City?
Seattle. Does he really care? Does she care at all?
If I asked I think the Wilsons would much rather live in New York City than Denver, Colorado.
They don't care about the media.
That's got to be the only reason you want to go to the Giants. I know you said those names, but Saquon's washed. He can't stay healthy, and when he's on the field, he hasn't been great.
He's not washed. He's good.
Javonte's better.
Okay, whatever.
Okay, but I know at that point, bro, like Javonte's what, the 8th best running back? Like, I'm just ballparking here. But regardless.
I think Javonte is great, bro. But, let's just see Saquon next year healthy.
Listen, look into the camera and just tell them you don't like me.
But
come on, man.
I don't know.
What are you saying the Giants? I'm sorry, man.
I don't know why you would want to go to the Giants if you're Russ. You said those names. Kenny Galladay can't stay healthy. Kadarius Toney can't stay healthy. Sterling Shepard's a guy. Saquon Barkley can't stay healthy.
Sterling Shepard's not a guy, bro.
He's a guy.
He's a really good player, bro.
He's above average, and that's the most I'm giving you.
Are you taking that receiving core or Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton, KJ Hamler, Noah Fant?
Jerry Jeudy by himself.
Alberto.
What?
Jerry Jeudy by himself.
Taking the Giants receiving
bro, Galladay doesn't.
What are you talking about?
None of the receivers stay on the field for the Giants.
Babytron?
They have to remove that nickname from Pro Football Reference yesterday.
Kenny Galladay.
Talk to me.
Would be the best receiver on your team.
No. He had one good year.
Who's better than Kenny Galladay on the
Jerry
Broncos?
Jeudy.
Jerry Jeudy.
Bro, we can't look at the past. We can't look at one season and be like Kenny Galladay's better. Jerry Jeudy's better.
And what am I looking at with Jerry Jeudy? He hasn't done anything in the league to warrant. You talk about health.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Jerry Jeudy, he was healthy all year last year.
You're talking about health. Jerry Jeudy got injured this year. What about Cortland Sutton?
It was an ankle injury.
Didn't Cortland Sutton miss the entire year?
Don't even answer. Don't even answer. Don't even answer because he got tackled
every single season.
He got tackled and rolled his ankle. Come on.
Where's KJ Hamler right now? What is he? He's injured.
It's a torn ACL, bro. What are
we're
you
talking
gonna
about
do?
Jerry Jeudy. Are we talking about Jerry Jeudy?
Banged up every week with new injuries. He got hurt again last week on Sunday.
Don't use the argument that the Giants are always injured when the Broncos are always
but their
receivers are always injured as well. It's a freak injury, therefore it doesn't count. No, it still counts. It's an injury.
But Galladay gets new injuries every week. New injury. He got hurt in August in training camp. He hurt his hamstring.
So that means Sterling Shepard's injuries aren't freak injuries. They're not. Oh, they're not freak injuries?
Sterling Shepard's in that lineup too, and when he's in, he's
good. He's good. To say he's a guy's kind of hurt.
I don't think he's anything special. He's never had a 1,000-yard season, has he?
Bro, we got to stop thinking just because somebody didn't have a 1,000-yard season, they're not like a good or great receiver.
No, but there's so many receivers in this league.
They fit in their role.
1,000 yards in the NFL nowadays isn't that hard.
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying, but Sterling Shepard, let's be honest. If he stays healthy the entire year, he can definitely do that.
I'll tell you, in the games that he's played this year, he's been good.
Let's not act like Shepard doesn't have the ability.
To start the year, he was very good.
You're acting like he's just okay. He's not just okay. He's a damn good receiver. Let's stop acting like he's just a medium.
1 to 10 rate Sterling Shepard.
I think he's a 7.5.
Sterling Shepard hasn't played since November 1st.
That's a long time.
And how much yards does he have on the season?
He has 324 yards.
In how many games?
5.
Those are good numbers.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, first 2 games, 113, 94.
I would say in that 7 to 7.5 range. I agree.
That's what I'm saying.
I agree with you.
The receiving core between the Giants and the Broncos, if we're talking about everybody healthy, the Giants is far better.
I mean, we've seen Cortland Sutton at his best. He is
Cortland Sutton at his best is Kenny Galladay. Like, I think they cancel each other.
Okay, and then we got Jerry Jeudy on top of that.
Okay,
and Noah Fant, who is definitely. I'm sorry, I don't want to hear Evan Ingram.
Is Jerry Jeudy better than Kadarius Toney? I don't think so.
Why are we saying this?
I'm taking Jeudy over Toney.
Like, come
and Galladay.
on.
Jeudy has done nothing, bro.
Because he has not.
You guys are just going off the basis of potential with Jeudy.
Jeudy had 856 yards last year.
Okay, how much? He just returned back to action not too long ago.
A couple weeks ago.
How much yards has he had since then?
He hasn't been incorporated.
He hasn't done anything. All right, so let's stop acting like Jerry Jeudy.
He was 4 for 77 last week.
Let's stop acting like Jerry Jeudy's just. Oh man. He's a game changer.
And you're giving him Russell Wilson. I promise you bring him Russell
Broncos
Wilson.
Made a mistake.
With who?
Should have drafted CeeDee Lamb.
No, if anything, we should have taken Jettas because he's obviously the best.
Well, either one of them would have been better. CeeDee Lamb's way better than Jeudy.
Okay,
let's keep it above.
Give Jeudy
Dak Prescott like,
and see what happens.
You're being very irrational.
CeeDee Lamb is better than Jeudy, though.
You're being irrational.
I'm not being irrational. He's a better receiver. I'm just saying, Jeudy hasn't done anything for you guys to say, he's better than Toney. He's better than these guys.
What's Toney like? I don't get it. What's
When
Toney
he's
done?
played has been a game breaker.
And Jeudy, when he was healthy last year, played well.
When they've incorporated Toney into the offense with the New York, he was a game breaker, game changer.
He's had a few really good games, and he's had like 5 duds.
Okay, what the argument that you're going to use for Jeudy last year's preseason, it should have been better. We know he was held back by Drew Lock. There's no doubt about that. All these Giants receivers are being held back by Daniel Jones or Mike Glennon.
No, it's the guys in and out of the lineup with injuries. The inconsistency in the
Daniel
game.
Jones isn't holding him back as a quarterback?
I wouldn't say he's necessarily holding him back, truthfully.
He's holding him back as much as Drew Lock held back your receivers.
That is mean to Daniel Jones. You're saying that Drew Lock and Daniel Jones are on par?
It's really not that far off.
Oh, my God. If Daniel Jones came to us, I'd be lit.
I don't know if I'd be lit. Daniel Jones is better than Drew Lock. But no, I agree. He's holding them back some. But I would still rather have Jerry Jeudy. If you gave me all the Giants receivers and all the Broncos receivers, Judy's number 1, and it's not close.
Judy's not number 1, bro.
Who's number 1?
Kenny Galladay's better than Jerry Jeudy. What are you talking about?
What did Broncos Nation do to you?
Bro,
what did they do to you?
Bro, you guys are being delusional trying to say Judy's better than Kenny Galladay.
Bro, what has Galladay done other than that one season?
Had one good year, bro.
He was hurt. When he's been healthy, he's been amazing.
He hasn't been healthy for almost 3 years. He was healthy in 2019. It's going to be 2022 in a month.
2019 is not that long ago, bro.
3 years ago?
Almost 3 years ago, bro.
Land is a while.
Going into next season, the
Cortland
season's
Sutton
almost over
missed the entire
3
last
years.
year.
He tore his ACL. Yes, I get it.
Okay. Yeah.
But Kenny Galladay, 2 years in a row now, in and out of the lineup.
You said 2. It's not. You said 3 at first. It's 2.
I know, but 2 years in a row he's been in and out of the lineup. Courtland Sutton just missed 1 year because he tore his ACL.
Kenny Golladay, to me, is better than Judy. I think the debate is Golladay versus Sutton.
He's gonna regret
Golladay
this.
Golladay versus
That's
Sutton
closer.
is equal.
Then
you look at the second tier of receivers on both teams. You look at, I think, Tony versus Judy.
Judy is our best receiver.
Whatever. Tony.
I'm telling you, as a Bronco fan, Judy is our best receiver.
Whatever. I'm just doing this off tiers. Golladay.
Judy is 1.
Okay, whatever. This is my list.
Then do
this
it that
is my
way.
list. You want to make yours, you make yours later. This is my list. Golladay versus Sutton. I think they cancel each other out. Judy versus Tony. Whatever. I'll give you Judy. Shepard versus Tim Patrick. Or Shepard versus
Timmy
is nice.
Timmy is really
Shepard
good.
is better, bro. Come on. Shepard is better.
I think he is better. I think he is better.
They're close. Both of these
Okay, so let's
receiving
just say
cores are close.
Shepard versus Patrick. Who's better? I think Shepard. Now, Slayton or KJ Hamler? I think Slayton is better. Even though he has a dropping problem, but Slayton is better.
I'll take both of the Broncos tight ends.
Y'all was acting like...
I'll take the Broncos O-line, both their tight ends, and their running backs.
Correct.
So there we go.
Okay.
And coaching.
That's cool. We talked about receiving core, though.
Okay, but this is
That's
but
what
you're
we're
talking
talking
about.
about. Y'all was acting like it's the Broncos, no debate.
Because when you bring everyone else,
I know the Broncos' offensive line is better than the Giants. Tight ends, if Evan Ingram can figure it out,
he can't. It's your 5. It's your 5, bro. It's your 5.
He stinks.
You're right.
It's your 5.
I'll give you that.
Oh my God.
You're right. I'll give you that.
Stinks.
You're right. I think Alberto and Noah Fant are damn good.
Yes.
I just want to see Russell Wilson on the New York Giants.
That's fine.
Just say you don't like
the
Andrew
Giants
Velez.
haven't had a winning. They haven't been 500 since like 2015 or 2016.
They have the worst
think.
record in the league since then.
They need some life. Russell Wilson is that
But
life.
why take the gamble on trying to build it up on yourself, then come into a situation where you're literally the missing piece from being Super Bowl contenders? And not only that, you have Mahomes, you have Herbert, Derek Carr. If you want, Russell wants the respect of being the best. You do it in this division.
You could be looking at the other side too and saying I could go to the NFC East and just deal with Dak instead. But
he's a gamer.
No, I agree.
You
That's what I
know
was going to say.
Russell
I
Wilson.
agree. He's a gamer. He wants to beat the best of the best.
He's also
but that's
smart.
A tough division.
Russell
If
Wilson,
he's smart, like you're saying, he comes to Denver.
no, it's not. Well, for one, we don't know if Fangio's going to be here next year. That's up in the air.
And like I said, I
the
want
front office
if the
is the same.
If the season ends in a disappointing fashion, Vic Fangio might get fired, and they might have a brand new coaching staff. So we're still unsure about Denver's future. Although I think it would be a mistake for them to fire Fangio.
We're a little bit better than what people were expecting us to be. So
Russell Wilson right now is in his division, looking at the Rams, looking at the Cardinals, looking at the 49ers, even saying, "Wow, these teams, they're really good, man.
Pete Carroll is not that good.
They're really good, and I have to win 10 games at minimum for our team to make the playoffs." If I go to the AFC West, oh my gosh, the Chargers are on the come up. Herbert's on a rookie contract. Oh my gosh, the Chiefs are there. Even the Raiders, who have been surprising this year, they still have Derek Carr. Every team in the AFC West has a top 15 quarterback not named the Denver Broncos. If Russell Wilson goes to the Broncos, that's basically like me going to the NFC West 2.0. I got to deal with the AFC West versus him going to the NFC East. I could win this division with 8 games, with 9 games.
Why would he go?
Why would he do that?
The Cowboys
Because he's not
are good.
winning a championship with the Giants.
Cowboys are good.
He's not.
And he might
He's
not
not.
make the playoffs with the Broncos.
What do you mean?
That's so rude, bro.
Bro,
So-
stop,
with-
bro. We were
Broncos have
literally
6 wins.
We were the
Teddy
8th
Bridgewater.
seed last week with Teddy Bridgewater. With Russell Wilson, we could win this division. We see how spotty the Chiefs can look.
You think that's going to happen for next year too?
Maybe. I mean, that Mahomes contract's going to eat at the Chiefs.
The media deal kicks in soon. We saw the Chiefs have.
But even
The
still, the
worst
Chargers, again, they're not all there yet.
We saw the
Eventually they
Chiefs
will be,
have
but-
the worst offensive line in football in the playoffs, and especially in Super Bowl. It was evident to everybody. In the offseason, they built that offensive line again, and they have a top 5 offensive line again. You think the Chiefs are just going to sit around and be whack? No. They're gonna fix all their holes, and when they're healthy on defense, Rashad Fenton, Charvarius Ward, L'Jarius Sneed.
Defense been solid.
They've been really great. Right
been.
now, we're talking about a Chiefs team whose defense is carrying the offense to victories.
I agree.
So if I'm Russell Wilson, I don't disagree. And I already told you, I think the Broncos are a better situation. But me, as a fan, preference, I'd much rather want to see Russell Wilson on the New York Giants. And guess what? This is an even better reason, Drew. We live in Jersey. You know what games I get locally? Giants and Jets games. You know what quarterback I would get to see locally every weekend? Russell Wilson. That's who I'm going with, the New York Giants.
Terrible. Let's move on.
You're going to take off the bucket hat?
No, staying on the rest of the show.
Gardner Minshew is a quarterback who just had a pretty good performance. Minshew is back. Minshew Mania is back. Versus the Jets, he completed 80% of his passes, had 242 yards, 2 touchdowns, and the Eagles beat the Jets 33-18. Now, Sirianni has already said there's no quarterback controversy here. Jalen Hurts is the guy. He's the starter. But we still have to ask the question, does Gardner Minshew deserve another starting spot in the NFL? What are your thoughts?
Go ahead.
This is an interesting one to me because I just look at the landscape of the NFL and I just try to vary which teams need a quarterback.
Bronco Nation.
Are you taking Gardner or are you taking Teddy? You were adamant last week that Teddy was better than what people were giving him credit for, so I know you don't mean that. So now, again, I'm looking at these teams and I'm thinking, okay, the Panthers. But do the Panthers want to take another risk on a player that is built off potential? I will give Gardner Minshew his credit. Last season, he was serviceable. 16 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, a decent completion percentage. I want to say it was 66%. Those are really good numbers. I just don't know if I want someone who isn't game-breaking at 6'1", and this is no disrespect because I'm just taking the intangibles of it all. At 6'1", who just isn't amazing. He doesn't do anything amazing. He makes I would say maybe he makes amazing decisions given his touchdown and interception ratio, the smartness of his passes. Maybe he makes really good decisions.
6 foot, 6'1", limited arm, doesn't wow you. Kind of like Tua, right?
Is Tua 6'1"?
6 foot.
He doesn't wow you though?
Oh, I'm just making a comparison.
He doesn't wow me in NFL terms. Herbert wows me. Kyler wows me. Lamar wows me.
Go on Gardner Minshew.
Guy just
threw a wrench in your...
That was so messed up.
It was foul.
How do you sleep at night?
I just felt like you're describing Minshew the same way I think somebody would describe Tua.
Except Tua wins.
Oh, my God.
Although I'll give this guy his credit. Listen, he had a great performance. He had a great performance against the Jets. I don't want to belittle his performance. He was fantastic. I believe 20 of 25. There's at one point that he was perfect. I think it was 12 for 12. He was lighting you guys up. But I'm not going to dig too deep into it just off the sole fact, and I mean this with no malice in my heart, boys.
All disrespect.
He's playing the Jets.
Yeah, and suck.
And us three can go out there and probably complete a couple of passes.
I could throw for 202 easily.
Listen, it's possible. You guys are pretty bad. Outside of Bryce Hall, I'll give that boy his respect.
He was locking up
that
the
boy
boxes,
is nice. That boy is the truth. I just don't know if I'm a team looking out right, on the outside looking at Gardner Minshew, and I'm thinking I want to take a gamble on him. There's just no spot really. The only team that desperately needs a quarterback are the Panthers, and the Panthers aren't a situation where they can take another gamble on a potential type player. So that's why I think that Gardner Minshew is going to be in contention for being the best backup in the NFL for as long as he's in the NFL. But I just don't think that he is a starting caliber type quarterback. I just think that's the truth.
I think that's fair, and I'll give Minshew his credit because in a dumpster fire of an organization in Jacksonville, he put up 2 really good seasons.
Definitely.
And like you mentioned, when you do look at the landscape, maybe he's not going to start somewhere, but I definitely think he's going to have a chance to compete for a starting role. Whether that's going to be a team looking for a quarterback, either he's not a free agent, but even for a trade to possibly upgrade their backup situation, or a team like maybe Houston or Carolina or Washington, one of these teams who takes a rookie quarterback, right, and wants a backup, which the Jets should have done, and get a really solid backup quarterback for the rookie quarterback to have just on his side, or if he does struggle, someone could come in and win some games. But I agree. He played the Jets. I'll be honest, I don't care. It scares me because we hire Adam Gase, right? Offensive minded. Our offense is terrible. Our defense steps up. We hire Saleh. Our offense, we have the 12th ranked passing offense, and our defense is the worst in the league. We've given up the most total yards per game, the most points per game, allow the highest QBR per game, 4th most passing yards a game, 3rd most rushing yards a game. You do whatever you want against us.
Yeah.
Like, do whatever you want. You want to run the ball, it's going to work. And to pass the ball, it's going to work. So I look at Minshew, and I went back because I didn't catch the whole game, and I looked at all of his throws. He had one really nice throw to Goddard, the first touchdown in the game.
Agreed.
That was solid. CJ Mosley, honestly, just he ran right by him.
Got burned.
CJ Mosley at this point of his career is not going to be a great cover linebacker. His second touchdown to Goddard was a pretty bad underthrow, but he was so wide open that there was no one in 15 yards of him.
That's a fact.
So he was able to turn around and catch it. He had to move his whole body to do it. There was only like one really good throw he made to Quez Watkins that was like on the run. Other than that, It was a ton of checkdowns, a ton of screens. His average depth of target was 6.1 yards, which is 23rd lowest on the week. The one thing he's got going for him, he's not a free agent until 2023. So there's definitely going to be teams calling him and interested because his cap is going to be under $1 million for the next 2 years. So you're going to have the opportunity to have a high-level backup for really cheap money. He doesn't wow me. I don't think he's a starter anywhere, but I completely agree that if Taylor Heineke could start and succeed, I think Minshew can as well.
Minshew has already shown that he can start and succeed. And maybe the winning isn't there, but individual success, he's done that. In his rookie year with the Jaguars, they went 6-6. He threw for 3,200 yards, 21 touchdowns, 6 picks, 61% of his passes were completed. He was pretty damn good. You know, for a rookie, any rookie has that rookie season, they're getting raved about.
Yeah.
Second year, the Jags go 1-16. The only game they won, week 1, when Minshew played, but Minshew went 1-7 that year. 2,200 yards, 16 touchdowns, 5 picks, completed 66% of his passes. You compare Gardner Minshew's first 2 seasons with Daniel Jones, with Drew Lock, with Dwayne Haskins, guys he was drafted with, his numbers are all better. You compare his first 2 seasons with Baker's first 2 seasons. Baker was the first overall pick. His is better. His are better. Gardner Minshew, sadly, is not getting an opportunity, not because he's not good enough, but because of where he was drafted. 6th-round pick. The only 6th-round pick to make that opportunity work was Tom Brady. And the Patriots definitely don't regret that. Tom Brady went on to be the greatest of all time. I don't think that's in the cards for Minshew. But when you're a quarterback that's drafted in the 6th round, you're not going to get these opportunities. When the Panthers were looking for a quarterback, despite Gardner Minshew having much more success than Sam Darnold in Jacksonville versus what Darnold had in New York, they went calling for Darnold because the potential made their eyes pop and their mouths drool. The potential of Sammy D. The potential.
I'm sorry, you said drool, Sammy D. You lost me. Sorry.
I mean, Matt Rule was drooling over Darnold.
Hey, yo.
He was.
Sam Darnold was supposed to be the first overall pick in the 2018 draft. Oh, my God. Boatload of potential. The Jets ruined him. Adam Gase, all this and all that. He goes to Carolina and stinks. He sucks. Gardner Minshew, 6th-round pick, goes to Jacksonville. An awful situation. Plays damn well his first 2 seasons there.
Very well put.
The Panthers didn't go calling Gardner Minshew's number. Why? Potential. Potential talent is overrated if you can't play. Drew Lock has talent. He sucks. Sam Darnold has talent. He sucks. Dwayne Haskins, 15th overall pick, has talent. He sucks. Gardner Minshew doesn't have the talent that wows you, but he's good.
He has the production.
He's a good quarterback.
Yeah, he has the production.
He produces.
I agree.
It's not like he was producing in great situations and, it's because he's a product of the system. This is what should happen. Gardner Minshew is going to start somewhere. I'm not sure where, but I think these 2 teams are going to be the ones that he could potentially start for. First is the Carolina Panthers.
Agreed.
Sam Darnold didn't work out. Cam Newton looks like it's not going to work out. I was wrong about him.
Happens.
New Orleans Saints. Jameis Winston might not play until halfway through the season.
Really?
He tore his ACL, halfway through the season.
I was going to say, the way that people come back, it's possible.
Yeah.
You're right. The Saints could be looking at Minshew. He's only getting paid $1 million up until 2023. We can have 2 years of efficient quarterback play and not have to pay this guy until then. And is he better than Simeon? Yeah. Is he better than Taysom Hill? Yeah. Is he better than Jameis?
Yeah.
Is he better than Jameis? Probably on the same level. I think Jameis is better, but
I'm shocked coming from you.
I just think Minshew's good.
I know. I am shocked you're saying this. Taysom is just a different aspect of the game. Like, do you want your quarterback to be athletic?
Minshew can run too, though.
I agree with that.
Taysom's.
Yeah, Taysom's.
I know what
Taysom's
you mean.
running.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Minshew and Winston. Winston is better, but it's not a gap to where they're losing tremendously.
That's a good point. Yep.
You're right. Gardner Minshew. What team wants to gamble on him? And I like that you use that word. That's an interesting word. With Minshew, it's not a gamble. With Drew Lock, it's a gamble. With Sam Darnold, it's a gamble. With Dwayne Haskins, it's a gamble. With Minshew, it's a safe bet because you know what he is.
But isn't a 6th-round pick a gamble? Like, the second and first aren't supposed to be the gambles.
I think it's the opposite, actually. I think...
Why, though?
You draft players based on their athleticism and potential. Obviously, also the production in college.
What about skill, though? I mean...
Skill plays a big part. It plays a big part, there's no doubt. Dwayne Haskins got drafted because of the talent that he had in college and the production he showed in college.
Yeah.
Jordan Love got drafted off of potential, off of how far he can throw the ball.
Trey Lance, too, probably. He had that one
Trey Lance got
season,
drafted off of
I
potential.
mean, what do you have, 40-0?
Yeah, like total.
Yeah,
when talking about the quarterback position, guys like Dak Prescott, Derek Carr, Kirk Cousins, Teddy Bridgewater was the 32nd pick in the draft. They slip because they know they're good, but how good can they be?
What's their ceiling?
And with Minshew, it's a safe bet. The Panthers, when they got Darnold, it was, is this guy good or is he bad? The Panthers were hoping he was good. If they would have traded for Minshew, that's not a gamble because you know Minshew's going to be efficient. You don't know if he's going to be you don't know if Minshew's going to be your franchise quarterback, but you know he's going to be a steady quarterback.
Yeah. All right, I like that.
So in that sense, it's not a gamble, it's a safe bet.
He's a stopgap for a team that is looking for a franchise quarterback to eat up a couple years until you find that. Because this 2022 class isn't looking great for quarterbacks, but 2023 you got Bryce Young coming out, and the quarterback from Ohio State. I'm blanking on his name now.
CJ Stroud.
Yes, Stroud. Those two, I mean, it's a ton of time, but probably going to go top 5. So, eat a year.
Minshew Mania is back.
Yeah, it's tough for me.
It's something.
The whole gamble part is what makes it tough for me because I understand your point, and you have some pretty sound logic. It's just a 6th-round pick just seems more of a gamble to me. But you're 100% right. Sam Darnold was a gamble because you gave up a high pick for him.
But I don't think that.
Just having him start on your team's the gamble.
Where Minshew was drafted matters anymore.
Agreed.
Because he's better than first rounders. He's better than Daniel Jones. He's better than Dwayne Haskins.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
man, we're being mean to Daniel Jones.
I don't know, bro. We've seen 3 years of Daniel Jones. Like, at what point do we just call it?
We saw it early on when they were healthy. People started to say, "Yo, is this the leap?" And then things started to go downhill. Andrew Thomas. The difference between him in the lineup and him out of the lineup is night and day. I think that I'm not going to be too quick to jump the gun on Daniel Jones. I think that a lot went wrong, and early on in the season when everything was going right, people started to acknowledge Daniel Jones and his presence on the field. I just think that I'm going to hold off before I bash Daniel Jones.
I think Minshew is a safe bet, but you could gamble on DraftKings if you want.
Hey, I agree.
Football fans, I'm sure we all love an action-packed, high-scoring NFL game. But with the latest no-brainer from DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, you'll be a winner once a single point scored. New customers who bet just $1 on any team to score can win $100 in free bets. It's that simple. If Sportsbook isn't available in your state yet, you can still get in on NFL action. Everyone can play for huge cash prizes all season long with DraftKings Daily Fantasy Sports Contest. DraftKings is giving all new customers a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes with their first deposit. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code TBPN. Bet $1 on any team to score and win $100 in free bets. If they score, you score with promo code TBPN this week at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL.
I'll tell you what, I do miss when we had the promo for the Rangers because it kept me on my toes. But I'll tell you what, Rangers are like that. 17 wins this year, man.
Bing Bong Parlay hit last night. You saw
Yo,
that?
I did peep that.
Islanders won like a 11-game, 13-game losing streak. They snapped it
What's
last
the
night.
Bing Bong Parlay?
It was
New York
Islanders,
parlay, bro.
Rangers,
Come on.
Knicks.
Oh.
They all won. All New York teams. Bing
And
Bong.
you said the Nets, right? The Nets.
Nets,
won as
sorry,
well.
not Knicks, Nets, yeah.
And we beat the Spurs.
And the Knicks,
Okay,
Knicks,
fuck.
Nets,
Maybe it's all
of
four of
them.
them. Yeah. All right, it was a four-legger.
The Big Bong Parlay. That's a good name for it.
That was lit.
Yeah, Bleacher
Perfect
Report, yeah, shout out. And if you don't already, every Sunday morning, I think that's when they put it up, DraftKings does a squad ride. So they basically take one player. It's usually like, for the last few weeks, it's been like Nick Chubb or it was Jonathan Taylor one week. They'll boost their anytime touchdown odds from, it's usually like minus 200 for someone like Chubb to like plus 100. It's a max bet of $50, but I've been doing it every week, and it damn near hits every time because they give you those really good workhorse running backs. Take them.
DraftKings is the GOAT.
They are the GOAT.
James Robinson needs more touches.
Oh
yeah,
my God, I'm
Urban
preaching that
Myers
to the mountaintops.
Urban Myers, a mess.
He's getting him prepared for next season when ETN comes back. So he's like, it's like a grandfathering into
Urban Myers, a mess.
Get him
bro.
out of here,
He's a
man.
mess.
Messing
Trevor
with
Lawrence
James
is-
Robinson's touch is disgusting.
I pray for Trevor Lawrence, man, because I don't know who's developing him over there. But
What does he have in the last 5? Is it 5 games, 1 touchdown, 0
bro, his completion
interceptions?
percentage is under 60%, I think. Like it's like 58. or
All these
something.
rookie quarterbacks, despite Mac, haven't been so good. It's just a rookie season. I'm not too.
I know, but I'm just worried.
They've
Like
shown
coaching.
flashes, though, at least. I mean, mostly Zach, mostly Justin Fields. And I will still even throw in Trevor Lawrence. He just refuses to make mistakes. I understand the completion percentage is low, but Josh Allen was dead last in completion percentage for 2 years before he turned it around.
Yeah, but he's an outlier. You rarely see that.
But again, it's Trevor Lawrence. Like,
No, 100%.
You know what
That's
I
fair.
mean?
I just worry because I trust Matt LaFleur has looked phenomenal as an OC, so I have faith he could develop Zach Wilson. Justin Fields, I don't know what's going to happen in Chicago. I see the head coach, but then Mac Jones in New England, we know that's going to be fine, and Trey Lance has a great coaching staff there. So I just worry about. I was never in on Urban Meyer, and it's not looking good their first year
Just a real quick question: who are you most scared of?
in terms of like
Rookie quarterback. Like if
busting?
you're just projecting right now.
Scared that they're going to be a bust.
Correct.
Trey Lance.
I feel like that would be my name too, and I understand that it's
that's just because he hasn't played
exactly. But I feel like, from what he's shown me,
one game.
yeah, fair enough.
He's also the only one sitting for an entire season though.
He just needs to find a happy medium with me in terms of his throws. Like, he cannot continuously just fire a ball in there because he has the best arm.
And
on the
they're
field.
not even really like early in the year they were giving him packages. I feel like he's not on the field at
because
all
Garoppolo
anymore.
he's been borderline great.
He's been solid. But I'm surprised even in the red zone still. I mean Elijah Mitchell and Debo have been dogs for them, but maybe that's why.
Elijah Mitchell concussion.
I saw that.
Yeah,
I hate to see it.
fortunate.
He's been getting a ton of work. That's
Been a beast.
Jimmy G is a top 5 quarterback under pressure this year.
He's been solid, man.
yeah.
He
He's-
has been.
he's not a free agent either, right? He's gonna get traded probably.
Bro, what was the crazy stat with Trent Williams that he almost had a perfect something, man? Ugh, I'm blanking so terribly. And if you guys don't know, then I'm just going to move on. But it was something like he was one play away from being perfect. I don't know if it's that he didn't allow any pressures, which I'm assuming that had to be what it was.
I'll try to.
But I think he had a grading of just, I don't know, maybe it was PFF that gave him a grade that was just like 1 point shy of being perfect. I can't remember what it is.
his run blocking grade is 99.1.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
That
was the tweet. Trent Williams has been nearly perfect. He has a 99.5 zone run blocking grade too.
Jesus
Dude's a
Christ.
freak.
How old is he too?
He's like 33 maybe.
Really? I thought he
yeah.
was older.
He's 34, 35. I will say
He's 33.
Right on the money.
I'll tell you what, man. Is he the best left tackle in football?
Yeah, this year. Armstead's up there too, probably.
Facts.
Let Beckton get
Facts.
healthy, man.
The Panthers just had a bye week, but despite that, some news about them came out. They fired offensive coordinator Joe Brady. Now, this guy was heralded as the next offensive genius because he worked alongside Sean Payton at LSU. He had tremendous success. Goes to Carolina. He's the next Sean McVay. He's the next Sean Payton. Everybody put him at that pedestal. Even after his first year with the Panthers, he was getting some head coaching interviews. And I know Joel here was like, yo, hire Joe Brady for the Jets.
He was part of my list. He wasn't the guy, but
Okay,
he was part of the list.
Salah was your guy?
Salah was, I mean, there's a few guys I was like, I'm happy if we get X, Y, and Z. I was like 5 guys.
So you would have been fine with Joe Brady.
Would have been excited, yeah.
I want to ask you this then. Do you think the Panthers made the right decision in firing Joe Brady? What are your thoughts?
I think Joe Brady's a scapegoat here. I think this more shows how Carolina has completely butchered the quarterback position over the last 2 seasons. Because for basically 2 seasons in a row, their offense hasn't been good by any means, but it hasn't been abysmal. You know, we're talking like the 20th to 23rd ranked offense. That's not something you're going to go home and brag about to anybody, but it's not like you have one of the worst offenses in the league where you go out there and you put up 7 points a game. I actually saw this tweet from Clink Cap on Twitter. If you guys want to follow him, he's a pretty funny follow. He's like, so let me get this straight. The Panthers, number one, first thing they did, ran Cam Newton out of town, which I don't hate. You know, if it's time to go in a new direction, new head coach, all new everything, right? New owner and everything. So if you want to go get someone else, that's fine. All right, let's sign Teddy Bridgewater, $63 million. That's what we're going to do. Instead of Cam, sign Teddy, $63 million. A year later, you're going to trade Teddy Bridgewater and pay 70% of his salary for a 6th-round pick. So you're basically giving up on Teddy 1 year in, plus you're paying all of this salary to go play for another organization. All right, well, what's next now, right? You got rid of Teddy Bridgewater, you need a quarterback. You trade a 2nd and 4th-round pick for Sam Darnold, which, again, I didn't absolutely hate. I said, all right, like maybe if that's your guy, you like the upside, go for it. Then you bench Sam Darnold for P.J. Walker. We know what P.J. Walker is. He's the backup, nothing more. He's never going to be a starting quarterback. He's never going to be a franchise guy. He could be a decent backup for you. And then the next thing you do is you go and sign Cam Newton for up to $10 million. And he looked abysmal against Miami.
And Washington.
So you do all of this, and to me, Joe Brady becomes the scapegoat. We're going to go and fire Joe Brady because we can't figure out the quarterback. We need a reason to tell the media, tell the fans, tell ownership. This is the reason why I've been struggling on offense. The reason you've been struggling on offense is, 1, Christian McCaffrey's been hurt for 2 years, so that puts a wrench into everything.
Yep.
And 2, if you can't figure out quarterback, you're going through Cam Newton, Teddy Bridgewater, Sam Darnold, P.J. Walker. What offense is going to be good during that? I don't care if you're Andy Reid. You're not going to be having a top 15 offense with these quarterbacks.
I don't know. It's possible. That's Andy Reid right there. Respect that, man.
Not with P.J. Walker.
Yuck. I mean, you hit it right in the head. You want to look at a team that has gone through quarterbacks year in, year out, and trying to have success with them. Look at Denver Broncos. I think we lead the league in over the last, or I think since Peyton Manning has retired, we lead the league in most quarterback changes. I believe we have 10 different quarterbacks since that time. What's funny to me is they wanted to be more run-oriented. Matt Rule came out into the media and was like, we need to run the ball more. We need to assert ourselves in the run game. But prior to that, on first down, I believe they had a 64% of the time they were running the ball on first down when they were down 1 score or if it was a 1-score game. Now, in those scenarios, they average, when they're not running the ball, 7.4 yards per attempt. And then when they're running the ball, 3.9 yards per each run situation. Now, only 4 teams average fewer yards per first down carry. So you kind of forced Joe Brady into this, all right, we're gonna try and run the ball, but I think he understood we're beating a dead horse here. We're not a great run team. Why am I gonna continue to do this? If they're already struggling, I understand the reason or trying to steer away from that. And especially when you have, as you mentioned, Sam Darnold, P.J. Walker, Cam Newton at the quarterback position. I'd understand wanting to feed the running back, but it gets predictable as a defense. You know what's going to happen when you have this guy at quarterback. You're going to continuously see the ball handed off. So it's obvious if I'm a defense what I'm scheming for. I'm scheming for the ball coming to this running back. I have to make a play. So if Joe Brady's trying to switch things up and trying to fool the defense because he's going to try and put a little bit of faith into his quarterback, I can't knock him for it. You got to try something different if you're constantly doing something over and over and over again. It's having minimal success. I agree with you wholeheartedly. I do think that it was a scapegoat option. I just thought that it was a terrible decision, especially when you're regarded as Joel mentioned, an potential offensive guru, and now here we are where he's unemployed. So I felt like it was a little bit ill-advised, especially given the logic behind why he was fired, especially if we're trying to be a run-oriented team. But why are you trying to be a run-oriented team when, one, you're having no success with it, and two, the main reason why you would want to be run-oriented is out for the season. Last season, Mike Davis had some success, sure. But then again, Teddy Bridgewater was the quarterback. This season, you don't have that luxury. P.J. Walker, Sam Darnold, Cam Newton are not Teddy Bridgewater.
So you're just calling Teddy Bridgewater luxury. It's funny.
And
it's true. It's funny, but it's true in this scenario.
Yes. He's luxury.
Yes, he is.
So I don't like the firing. I think that he will have a job, if not, probably not this year, next year for sure.
I think he'll get a college job quick. Like, I could see that.
But
very
I don't
easily.
want him to go back to. I don't want him to go to college.
I don't think he gets an OC position. Do you?
At Miami, he's getting into to be an OC.
University of Miami.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's tough to say. I mean, if you give him a better situation, like we saw it. DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson both had over 1,000 when they had Teddy Bridgewater. Joe Brady was calling the plays. This season, they have no quarterback, no true running back. Robbie Anderson's in hell. DJ Moore, aside from the first 3-4 weeks, has fallen off a cliff.
Yeah, yes.
I feel like that I'm not blaming Joe Brady as much as I'm blaming situation. So, I mean, for NFL organizations to hold that against Joe Brady would be tough, especially if he was this highly regarded. So I feel like it's not out of the realm of possibility he gets another OC job, but I think you're right. I think he probably does lean towards the college playing field, but I would like to see him in the NFL.
The perception around Joe Brady is better than an actual coordinator. The bottom line is that he's not a good play caller. And the situation in Carolina wasn't the best, but he's still not a good play caller. His claim to fame was his 2019 LSU season. And when you go down the roster, who wouldn't have success with this team? I could call 4 verticals every play and I'd get a touchdown every single play. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Terrace Marshall Jr., Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Thaddeus Moss, then Damian Lewis and Lloyd Cushenberry on the offensive line, both guys who are playing fantastic in the NFL.
Love him.
I mean, all these guys outside of Thaddeus Moss are good NFL players, and Terrace Marshall Jr. still to be determined. But who wouldn't have success with that team? The fact that Matt Rule went into the NFL and said, my OC has to be Joe Brady, a guy that has no NFL experience, was frankly bad management by him. Matt Rule is also not a very good coach. This coaching staff is not a very good coaching staff outside of their defense coordinator. I'm forgetting his name right now. I think it's Phil Snow. It might be one of those. Outside of the DC, this coaching staff sucks. And those are the main guys that I want to really point out. Matt Rule, Joe Brady.
Phil Snow, okay.
Phil Snow's the only one that is really worthy of his position because he's been great. And then you look at LSU's defense too. Patrick Queen, Delpit, Chase On, Kerry Vincent, Derek Stingley, Christian Fulton. I mean, the team was just destined to be great. With the Panthers, Joe Brady in 2020, his first year as OC, 21st in yards, 24th in points. This season so far, the Panthers are 29th in yards and 24th in points. They have one of the worst offenses in the NFL. Sure. Panthers fans want to rip their eyes out when they see the plays being called. Joe Brady just hasn't been good in translating to the NFL, and that happens with a lot of coaches, and he's very young. It's reasonable. I'm not going to say this guy can't be a great coordinator or even coach down the line because he's really young. I mean, he can definitely turn it around. Now he knows what to expect in the NFL. He's a young guy. He can definitely get better and be a great coach down the line. But right now, he's not that. To be fair to him, the situation matters a lot. No first-time OC is going to have success, very few at least, with a quarterback that is awful. The quarterbacks the Panthers have had outside of Teddy have been awful. And with Teddy, they were 21st in yards. But Teddy even said they didn't practice red zone offense. I mean, that's ugly. That is a knock on the coaching staff, and that's why they were 21st in yards and 24th in points.
They didn't have McCaffrey either.
Teddy Bridgewater called out the staff. And I get the CMC part. That plays a huge part into it. They can't really run the ball.
Agreed.
Because McCaffrey is not an in-between tackles back.
And the offensive line is poop.
He's an outside zone running back. He loves to get on the edges. He loves to get outside. Chuba Hubbard is the same type of running back. They don't have a bruiser back, a guy who can go in between the tackles, get you extra yardage. You look at the Broncos.
McCaffrey could do it. He could do it.
No, he can't.
He could do it.
He's one of the worst backs in the league when running in between tackles.
I understand, but you're saying like a bruiser, like strength-wise.
A bruiser is a guy. A bruiser is a guy who runs in between tackles.
Like a Jerome Bettis.
But why do if you're elite as an outside runner, why do I care if you can't run up the middle?
Because defenses can scheme for outside runs.
The 49ers and Rams, that's their whole offense is zone running and mostly
but
to
they
the
can
outside.
run in between tackles.
But but we're still, so can McCaffrey. I vividly remember like a 70-yard run he bursted out like last two years.
I want you to go home after the show and look at Christian McCaffrey's stats when he runs in between tackles.
I mean,
that's
okay,
fine,
I understand what you're saying.
Listen,
he's better at running outside, but he can clearly
I'll give you an example. He's not a very good runner in between tackles. In college, he wasn't like that either. It just is what it is.
He's a workhorse. I mean, he's been hurt, but I'm saying up until that point, he was taking 20, 25 carries a game, or touches rather.
And he's getting injured now.
No, he is. Yeah, facts.
Okay. It's the touches that have taken a toll on his body, not running it up the middle.
And Hubbard's issue is he's an outside runner, but he's not fast.
I think Hubbard's been okay. I think
okay is nice. I think okay is fine.
You look at the Cowboys. They have the luxury of two. Zeke is great in between tackles, carrying defenders on his back, getting extra yardage.
Mm-hmm.
Pollard is that explosive back. He's going to take one to the house. He's great outside, but he's also very good in between the tackles.
And the best offensive line in the NFL.
Okay, I get it. I know the offensive line has a lot to do with it, but since McCaffrey has gotten drafted to the Panthers, you look at his numbers in between the tackles. When he rushes in between the tackles, they're not very good. That's why the Panthers don't scheme those type of runs up. And whenever they do, McCaffrey gets a yard or he gets negative yards or maybe 2-3 yards. He's not getting a lot of yards on those plays. Those aren't effective for the Panthers offense. Other running backs are effective in those situations. Knowing that the Panthers staff has to be like, we have to get a running back that can go in between the tackles so we can use McCaffrey in a different way. And we can use McCaffrey in this way, but also use this other running back in this way, where we can have two guys, one in between the tackles and one guy that runs outside. And that's also reserving McCaffrey.
Yeah.
The offensive line has been one of the worst offensive lines. The defense we know is great. Joe Brady's not working with much when we're talking about the Carolina Panthers offense. So is he solely to blame? He's not. But frankly, I don't think he was ready for an NFL job unless the NFL job was already loaded with talent. Like, oh, you're going to the Chiefs. You're going to the Packers and being an OC next to Matt LaFleur. If it wasn't something like that, he wasn't ready. He wasn't ready to take an offense that was bad and turn it to good. That's just not what was in the cards for him. And I think the firing was good. I mean, you can say he was used as a scapegoat, but a lot of Panthers fans have been blaming Brady. Like, this has been an ongoing thing that Brady is the problem here.
Yeah, they need a quarterback.
So I feel like out of college, that was a big thing about McCaffrey, that he can't run up the middle. 2018, which isn't his borderline MVP season in 2019, he averaged 5.28 yards per carry up the middle.
It's amazing.
It is amazing. So I feel like the narrative almost that he can't, sure, his body probably doesn't look like he can, but clearly he can. And if you're just watching, he's a strong dude.
Yeah.
He's also weird in the way that he can stay up. You know what I'm saying? Like, it finds his arm strength to push himself off the ground.
Stayed on his head for a play.
For real, that was pretty impressive.
That was one season you mentioned. What are the other seasons?
Correct. I'm trying to find it. I just can't find it. I'm just saying that he's shown that he can run through the tackles.
And that's fine, but if you are, like, obviously Joe Brady's not an elite offensive coordinator or play caller, but it's kind of similar to DK Metcalf when he came out. Oh, he doesn't have a large route tree. He can only run goes. He can only run post. Okay, so let him run goes and post. He's 6'4", 225, and runs a 4.3. If you're a good offensive coordinator, play around your offensive player's strengths. And I see why. First of all, the Panthers used a first-round pick on Christian McCaffrey, then paid him $60 million. So I understand why their highest priority, or one of their high priorities, is not, let's go and get another running back. They got Hubbard in, the 5th, 6th round? He was a
pretty firm, late round pick.
Yeah, and that's what happens a lot of the times with
sure
running
they weren't
backs.
expecting to use him either.
Yeah, no, they thought he could be a backup, or if McCaffrey did go down for a game or two, he could fill in. But I understand not having a high priority pick or draft free agency signing or trade to go get another running back, because you used already all of this, this cap room and high draft capital on Christian McCaffrey.
I agree, and I just think that ultimately Brady was the right decision to fire him.
Okay.
But we'll see what they do moving forward.
So you
About
couldn't
quarterback.
I agree.
They don't find quarterback, they're still going to struggle. If they find a quarterback, they'll look good.
Are you okay with the Joe? Like, would you have fired Matt Rule or Joe Brady? You're fine with the firing of Joe Brady.
You can't fire. You just signed Matt Rule 2020, and you gave him he got 6 years, 8 years. You know, got to let him work a little bit.
Yeah, fair enough.
Matt Rule's getting fired next year.
I mean, he's not the best coach.
They had a chance to get Mac or Fields, and they said we'll take JC. So
I don't hate it either.
But it's
they
the
really
same
said
thing.
we're taking Darnold.
Also
Fair
true.
enough.
But
That's
that
what they
same thing
really
the
said.
Broncos did. They had a chance to take both those guys too. They said we'll take Surtain and Teddy.
And I'm not upset. I'm not upset at all.
Over Mac Jones.
I'm okay.
You wouldn't trade Surtain for Mac Jones right now?
Nah, because I think getting Surtain puts us in a good position.
Is it Surtain or Surtain?
Surtain.
Surtain? Stamped?
Yeah, it's Surtain.
Okay.
However, I will say I thought it was Font, and it was like on TVs they call him Fant all the time. I could have swore that I saw something. He said that it is Font, but it's Fant apparently. So maybe I could be wrong about Surtain.
I also was Surtain.
But I'm pretty sure it is Surtain. But that being said,
Noah Font said it's Font.
I'm almost positive he said it's Font. And
That's like the Tyrod thing. It's Tyrod.
Is it Tyrod?
Yeah, he came out, I think when he was starting for the Browns with Baker got drafted, he said, "You've been pronouncing my name wrong in my entire career." It's not Tyrod. It's like pronounced a little bit differently.
You know, I'm going to stay consistent on Font then, because maybe
Tyrod.
it's possible.
I think it is Tyrod. That's what they call him.
Yeah, I remember like
broadcast.
Yeah. I always call him Fant.
But again, we're probably going to lose Bryce Callahan at the end of the season.
Yeah.
I think that he's going to want a lot of money.
Kyle Fuller's on a
one-year
deal too.
That also hurts. Oh, man, so it made sense to go Surtain. I mean, he locks that corner position for a minimum of 4 years, and the way that it's
minimum,
looking, exactly, the way it's looking, he's going to play out the whole rookie 5, and God willing, he sticks around with us for a few more years. So, especially with the opportunity to make a big time play at these quarterbacks, I think that was our thinking. Maybe we're not going to get the guy this year, but next season we definitely could be in play to get a big time.
One of the bigger debates that's going on in the NFL world right now is who is the defensive player of the year. Before the show, Drew, you said, "Are we all picking TJ Watt?"
Yeah,
I know who you're going with, and explain why you're going with him.
All right, I mean, it's pretty simple to me. You missed 2 games this season, and you're the leading sack leader in the NFL. You are 1 quarterback hit away from leading the league in quarterback hits. He has 26. Myles Garrett has 27. And Myles Garrett, I'll give him his credit. He's been spectacular. He's number 2 in sacks this year with 14. He's played 12 games. He has been spectacular. It's just that TJ Watt is just a different level. And if we're being honest, TJ Watt should be going for his 2nd Defensive Player of the Year. Last year, I understand giving it to Aaron Donald. He's the best defensive player in the league, given intangibles, given everything you want a defensive player, tackles. He's fantastic. But numbers-wise, TJ had it. Led in sacks, tackles. I mean, he was amazing. This year now, we saw him miss some time, and now he's at 16 total sacks in the NFL. He has 4 forced fumbles, which is 3rd right now in the NFL. And this is as a defensive end. He's been fantastic. I understand that the Steelers aren't the best team in the NFL, but they're definitely not the worst. They're 6-5-1. They're in a hunt still for a wild card spot. And if they make a wild card, it'll only enhance his chances to win this award. I just think that you just watch TJ Watt. You see the impact that he has. He's too strong. These offensive linemen cannot contain him. Single team is the dumbest thing you could do. You throw a double team at him, that is nothing to TJ Watt. He's been fantastic. He's been, name it any synonym of the word amazing. That's what TJ Watt has been. And I feel like if you're looking anywhere else, you're trying to be borderline a little bit different. But I can understand TJ Watt. He's going to be a dominant force in this league for a while. I just think that he's due. And the fact that he's missed games and is leading the league in sacks and has a chance to break the all-time sack record, what more is there to really argue?
I think TJ Watt is the safe pick for Defensive Player of the Year. This argument is really based off of pressures because TJ Watt has these sack numbers, but he doesn't have a lot of pressures. He has 40 pressures on the year. Donald has 54. Garrett has 59. But TJ Watt does have 6 sacks. He has more tackles for loss than Donald, than Myles Garrett. He has 26 quarterback hits more than Donald, 2 less than Garrett, He has 4 forced fumbles, 28 run stops. TJ Watt has been amazing. I feel like this is the third year we're talking about this. Yeah. 2 years ago, Stephon Gilmore won. TJ Watt was right there. Last year, Aaron Donald won. TJ Watt was right there. I personally think that last year, TJ Watt should have been Defensive Player of the Year. Aaron Donald, we know he's the best defensive player in football, but I felt like last season, TJ had the better year, and Donald won more off of name recognition. And because he has that reputation for being the best defender in football. This year, it's a tight race.
It is.
But I think this year, when you talk about the games TJ Watt has missed, he's missed 2 games, and he was limited in 2 of them. Versus the Raiders in Week 2, he played 24% of snaps. Versus the Lions in Week 10, he played 40% of snaps. So these numbers should be even better than what they have been.
Yeah.
TJ Watt is tied first for sacks right now, and he missed 2 games. And basically, like, you would probably say he missed like 3.5 games. To me, he's a Defensive Player of the Year, and he's doing this with no Bud Dupree. He left. With no Vince Williams, who was a great run stopper. With no Tyson Alualu, who got hurt for the year earlier in the season. Melvin Ingram, who was supposed to be a big key for the Steelers, went out and left. Highsmith has been great, but they lost a lot of depth on that defensive line.
Cam also.
Cameron Hayward, yeah. He's one of the best defensive linemen in football.
Definitely.
But I think this year, TJ Watt is the Defensive Player of the Year.
So the question is, who's yours, right? It doesn't have to be consensus.
Of course.
Okay. I have a little outside the box. It's not TJ. It's not Miles. I think it's Micah Parsons.
Okay.
I think coming out, a lot of it, he wasn't really toted up to be this pass rusher, right?
Oh, hell no.
The Cowboys came in, and I got to give him all the credit. Got to give Dan Quinn a ton of credit here because he's being extremely versatile in what he does. This is kind of like what we almost thought Isaiah Simmons would be possibly in Carolina. Hasn't really worked out to the success that Micah has. But, bro, he's been insane this year. He's basically playing 50% of his snaps at linebacker, 50% as a defensive line pass rushing. He has 304 snaps on the defensive line and 360 snaps at linebacker. So he's doing this with over 50% of his snaps being a box linebacker, either stopping the run or covering tight end, slot receivers, wherever it might be. And with that said, he has 11 sacks, which is 7th most in the league, 12 QB hits, which is tied for 4th most, and he has the 3rd highest win percentage on pass rush snaps, only behind Myles Garrett and Max Crosby. Also has 16 tackles for loss, tied for the most, forced two fumbles, and he has the number 1 defensive grade of all linebackers, according to PFF. He also has the best pass rush grade of all defenders in the NFL. Better than TJ Watt, better than Myles Garrett, better than Aaron Donald. So when you see the impact a player could have on the defensive side of the ball, because listen, all of the guys you said are great, and all the guys we mentioned as well along with it, all they do is to rush the passer. Micah Parsons rushes the passer, but he's also stopping the run and playing middle linebacker, outside linebacker. He's covering tight ends. He can run sideline to sideline. He has great speed. So when I'm looking at Defensive Player of the Year, who's making the biggest impact on my defense? Micah Parsons doing it at all levels except safety.
Tell you what, you made some solid arguments. I'm not going to front you. That being said, you look at the totality of the Dallas Cowboys defense, and I understand he can't be at all positions. I think they're dead last in total yards given up. They've been horrific.
The Jets are.
Okay, so then they've got to be in the bottom 3, bottom 4 of it. You could look it up. You let me know. But they've been terrible in terms of giving up yards, and I understand you're only one guy.
Yeah, they're 5th worst. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th worst.
So, but given the fact that he's playing 50% at one position, 50% at another position, he's still efficient in terms of getting to the quarterback, and you can go and you can have him guard a tight end. I'm not trying to take anything away from Micah. Micah is a fantastic ball player, and he is going to be he'll definitely win All-Pro. He'll be an All-Pro this year. He should be at least. And at what position? That's up for grabs. It'll probably be
he wants it to be defensive line because once that contract comes up, he has to get franchised. Yeah, that money's all in defensive.
But I'll tell you what,
end.
that'll be tough because you're thinking about it. Probably Myles Garrett will get one. Unless they're doing left end, right end. But if it's probably just defensive end.
I feel like they just do like defensive line, like linebackers.
Because then that's it. Myles Garrett's going to get it, and then TJ's going to get it. So that I'm just going to assume they're going to give it to him at linebacker.
I was going to say he has more snaps at linebacker, so that might be the deciding factor.
So, I mean, from what you told me, man,
he's a freak.
It's not the boldest opinion. I said that, if you're saying someone else, you're trying to be different. You read off a bunch of good stats. It's just that I'm thinking in terms of who dominates a game more? I feel like TJ is probably the most dominant outside of Aaron Donald in the NFL, including Myles Garrett. And Myles Garrett is a 10 out of 10 ball player. I just think that TJ Watt is just at a different level right now.
I don't know if he's on a different level.
16 sacks in 10 games is crazy. That's nuts. That's
Myles
a different
Garrett
level.
has that.
No, he doesn't. He has 12 and 14.
No, he has 16 sacks this year, I'm pretty sure.
He has 14, King, I promise.
14 sacks?
14.
He has more pressures, though, this year.
He has more pressures, but he has one more QB hit. And like you mentioned, TJ has played he has a game of under 30% snaps and then under 50% snaps. So this is really in I won't say
it's like
8 games.
Yeah.
Exactly 8.5.
Yeah. Beast.
I think TJ Watt has been elite, but I think between all these guys, you're splitting hairs.
Yeah.
I don't think I can say TJ Watt has been on a different level than Garrett or
10
Donald
games
or Parsons.
Like we mentioned, basically 9.
11
like a
sacks,
different
bro.
level.
He's playing the position half the time.
That's
crazy.
That is a different level. What do you find different level as opposed to
a different level from these guys that we're naming?
a different? Yes.
A different level is like Max Crosby to Myles Garrett. That's what I think of a different level. Like Max Crosby's still damn good, but
I don't know, man. 10 games, like we mentioned, basically 9 games and 16 sacks is ridiculous. That's nuts. That is a different level. That's a different level.
I think a different level is Matt Judon to Crosby.
same thing.
I mean, what's the record for sacks in a season? 22 and a half?
Yeah, Strahan.
And he's at 16 in 10 games. Strahan did that in 16.
Yeah. You got the last one was nonsense.
I understand, yeah.
Hey,
My dad says it all the time. Brett Favre just slid right in front of him.
He did. It was mad funny.
I've watched the replay. It's definitely yes.
It
looks bad, but I mean Strahan was right there.
He was.
He did just,
but he didn't even try.
No, he didn't.
I mean, maybe because Strahan's coming after you. What can you do? You know.
But I'll tell you what. If TJ Watt touches 20 in 14 games, how many games are left? 20 and 14. That's not a different level. That's a different level to me.
Damn impressive.
Jesus Christ.
I think Garrett might touch 22 though.
He might, but he might.
Now, but I don't know, dude. Fans don't vote for this. I'm assuming there's like some media people.
Yeah, media.
Are they going to take anything away from TJ because he's missed games?
I don't think they shouldn't factor into it. If the stats are there and the
might,
production is there,
believe it or not.
Like if he misses one more game, say he's out for 3 games, and Garrett plays 17,
he might. It might impact it, and that's pretty fair to say. But I think if the Steelers, I don't know, that's tough. I think if he gets near 20 sacks, he wins it. If he has,
they're both going to be near 20
for sure. I think if he has the most sacks in the NFL, and given the fact he's still an amazing tackler, he's among the league leaders in forced fumbles, I think that'll only help his case, especially if they get into the wild card spot. I don't see how it doesn't happen, truthfully. I think last year they realized that they should have given him this award, and the trajectory that he's on to finish this season, it's written in the stars.
Hopefully he wins it this year, because last 2 years he's been second, so hopefully he finished first now.
I wasn't mad at the Gilmore winning, though, to be honest with you, as opposed to the Aaron Donald. Like, of course, Aaron Donald is the best defensive player in the league, but I'd love to see a cornerback especially win Defensive Player of the Year.
I feel like Gilmore had a fantastic season. He had the best corner season that year.
For sure.
But I think a lot of that was due to his safety help and him being able to play overly aggressive on routes.
I guess, but I'm not going to hold that against him. I mean, man-to-man, there was no one better.
Yeah.
Because of the safety help.
That's if you're really trying to nitpick, but
like it was
really an island over there, regardless whether he had the safety help or not.
If you have safety help, you're not on an island.
But you could not throw the ball to Gilmore. If you're throwing the ball to Gilmore, you're either risking an interception or an incompletion. And more often than not, it was not happening.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Gilmore was the best corner that year. But when you know you have a safety over the top, you can play overly aggressive. You can jump routes because you don't have to worry about getting beat deep.
I mean, that year, that defense of the Patriots was just amazing.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it wasn't like the Jets, like Darrell. Like, I mean,
of course.
The Jets
we're
were
talking about
zone.
That's probably the greatest cornerback season we'll ever witness.
The Jets were blitzing, leaving Darrell with no safety help on an island himself.
You're right.
You get
Revis
this guy.
Revis,
if you
bro.
get beat, it's on you. That's what it was.
I'm not trying to compare
generational.
exactly. I mean, we're talking about Revis, who's arguably a top 3 corner in the history of NFL. Gilmore, probably top 15. I mean, I'll give him his respect. He's a great corner.
Yeah, winning defensive player of the year as a corner is
exactly. That's it. I mean,
because there's not a lot of unless you get a ton of interceptions.
But I'm still not going
to
exactly, and I'm not going to take away from the fact that he was an integral part of them being the number 1 defense that year.
AFC Power Rankings. We're going to give our best teams in the AFC. We're going to go 1 through 16. So I'm just going to give mine 1 through 16 first. You go, then you go, Drew.
Let's do it.
Patriots are 1 for me. Chiefs are 2. Colts are 3.
Love it.
The Bills are 4. The Chargers are 5. The Ravens are 6. The Titans are 7. The Bengals are 8. The Dolphins are 9. The Browns are 10. The Raiders 11. Broncos 12. Steelers 13. Jets 14. Texans 15. And Jaguars 16.
Got to be honest, I completely missed the Raiders here, but I'll find a place to put them. We have a pretty similar list. Number 1, I have the Patriots as well. 2 Bills. 1 Patriots, 2 Chiefs. 3 I have the Bills, and 4 I have the Colts. So that's our first change there. 5 Chargers, 6 Ravens, who I think are a little bit too high. Bengals at 7, Dolphins at 8, Titans at 9. I think we had that order a bit changed. I'm going to throw the Raiders here at 10. Steelers 11, Browns 12, Broncos 13, Jets 14, Jags, Texans.
All right, here's my list. I have number 1, New England Patriots. I feel like they've been pretty dominant. It's a given. Number 2, I actually have the Indianapolis Colts. I feel like they've been spectacular. I don't really have to defend them too much. They could, if not for New England, they could debatably be the number 1 team in the
Plus
AFC.
5,000 for the chip, bro.
I'm heavily thinking about it. You told me about it, and I've been itching ever since. Number 3, I have Kansas City Chiefs. Number 4, I do have the Buffalo Bills. Number 5, I have the Chargers. Number 6, I do have the Bengals, actually. Number 7, I have the Ravens. Number 8, I have my Fins, Dolphins. I have number 9, the Steelers. Number 10, the Raiders. Number 11, unfortunately, my Broncos. Number 12, the Browns. Number 13, the Jets. I got mixed up, but here are the Texans, and then the Jaguars.
You have the Colts 2. I had the Colts 3. You have the Colts 4. But you have the Colts the highest.
I do.
So you have them over the Chiefs.
I do.
Why do you have the Colts over the Chiefs?
I do believe that the Chiefs' defense has stepped it up over these last couple of weeks, and that's been a huge part of their winning streak. I just look at the offense that the Chiefs are running right now, and I'm not overly infatuated as I've been with it as these last couple of seasons. Infatuated in the sense of respecting and acknowledging the fact that it is all-world great. I'm a Bronco fan. I automatically hate them. Now, I'm looking at the Colts, and in terms of defense and offense, they look fluent. Defensively, they've been great. They had a loss against the Buccaneers, but I'm not really digging too deep into that because the Buccaneers are one of the best teams in the NFC, arguably the best team in the NFC if you ask someone. I just think that offensively also, I love what's going on. Jonathan Taylor being the focal point. He just allows so much to go on. Carson Wentz's game has just been enhanced just because of Jonathan Taylor's impact. Michael Pittman has been great up until this point. The only thing that they're really missing is that second weapon in the wide receiver room. But given the fact that Jonathan Taylor's been so dominant and he leads the league in almost every single statistical category for a running back, I just love the way that they're headed right now. I understand they're 7-6, but in terms of, if we're talking power rankings, this is my second best team.
So we have the Colts top 4. But as of right now, if the season were to end, they wouldn't be in the playoffs.
It's crazy.
The Titans are currently at the top of the AFC South. Do you think the Colts...
That's why I had 15. I'm like...
I had 15 for the NFC and AFC. I'm like, I'm an idiot.
Do you think the Colts are going to win the AFC South?
Yes, I do. What are they? A game back of the Titans?
Like a game and a half.
Yeah. So I think, you look at the Titans team, they've just been decimated with injuries. There's not much you could do about it. When I know you were higher on their defense than I was. I always thought they were an average defense. You thought they were better than that. You thought they were borderline elite, if I remember correctly.
To be fair,
they have been a great defense.
They were really good. In terms of pass, though,
they don't strike me as
not the best.
And when you have an offense that doesn't have, now you don't have an elite quarterback, you don't have Derrick Henry, so you don't have an elite running back, you have no receivers, so you need an elite defense or an elite coaching staff like a Bill Belichick, which literally only one exists. So when you have below average, I'm sorry, Tannehill's not below average, but everything else on that offense below average, I need the defense to step up and be borderline elite. I don't see that coming. I don't see that coming anytime soon. And then the way the Colts, you just have the Colts trending up. and you have the Titans trending down. At this part of the season, we're past Thanksgiving, we're in December. If you get hot, that matters. If you start going on wins, and especially you have a running back like Jonathan Taylor in these cold months when you're going to have wind like we saw in the Buffalo game, you're going to have wind, you're going to have bad weather, especially in the, I guess not in the South, but if you're going to go on the road because they're probably going to be a wild card team, that's up to debate. Regardless.
Let me keep the same energy.
Give me that.
When I was talking about the Dolphins and their win streak and their difficulties with the defense early on in the season, I said that it was due to quarterback play and their ability not to stay or their constant need to stay on the field. Not need. They're on the field all the time is what I'm basically trying to say. You're looking at the Titans now, and they have been decimated at the running back, decimated at the wide receiver position. That offense is doing nothing to help the defense out. So now the defense, where I do believe it is a solid, borderline great defense in the league. Now we're seeing it where they need to be forced onto the field, and now we're starting to see them start to get a little bit more exposed.
But when are these guys coming back? When's Henry, AJ, Julio? When do they come back?
The Dolphins?
Julio's supposed to come back this week. Excuse me.
Julio's the one I'd be most worried about.
Was the Dolphins' defense
it was terrible
bad because of the quarterback play, or was it because they faced great offenses?
A little bit of both.
Because last year they were a bottom 20 team in terms of yards given up. They just forced turnovers, which made them.
They're doing that again this year.
Yeah,
they started forcing turnovers once they started facing bad teams.
Yeah, I mean, we've mentioned it. Those last 5 games, other than the Ravens, they were playing the bottom of the barrel of the NFL.
Even the Ravens, like Lamar Jackson threw 3 picks against the Browns.
They had just a terrible game plan.
And so he hasn't been the best either. I think
Patriots week 1, Bills did them in. Raiders, they're not, in my opinion. I mean, maybe at the time you could say that they're a good offense.
Week 3, they were definitely a good offense. Henry,
you know what? That's a good point because they played the Colts and then the Buccaneers. I mean, you're right.
Tough start.
Yeah, really.
The Colts are one of those teams that might benefit from playing away, just because if they play at home, they're a dome team.
Yeah,
which means the Bills, if they face the Colts at Indianapolis in a dome, a pass-heavy offense, it favors them. It favors them a lot. But if you go to Buffalo and you face the Bills in cold weather,
we saw what happened.
That might be better for the Colts.
Yeah, Bills don't have a rushing game.
They don't. It's been adamant all season long.
To be fair, though,
like shady.
To be fair, though, on Monday night, Josh Allen in that weather was great.
Yeah,
he was.
I was gonna say,
he was somewhat like
compared to Mac, anyone could be great.
I mean, just in that game, in that weather, I don't think a lot of quarterbacks would have thrown the ball as much as Josh Allen. Like Josh Allen completing all the balls he did, the degree of difficulty. I mean, that's why having an arm with insane, a quarterback with insane arm talent is beneficial for teams that play in cold weather.
And he should have had that touchdown to Diggs.
Yeah,
that was over the top. That was right where Diggs could have asked for.
And that's why the Jets took Zach Wilson. You need a guy with a strong arm in cold weather in December.
In New York, we're gonna have some important December games one of these years, man.
I'm so sick that I messed up my power rankings. I just missed the Titans. I just didn't even have them.
I missed the Raiders. I just missed Washington for the NFC.
So I'll just say this: the Patriots are the most balanced team in the AFC.
They got it.
I think the Patriots are the best team in the AFC. The Chiefs, Mahomes, the offense, they're going to figure it out. We have to stop writing them off. I know the faith might not be there for many people, but they're going to get it going. And with this elite defense, they're going to be nice. So the Colts, number 3 for me, just because I think they can run the ball better than any team in the NFL.
Best running back in the league.
Number 4 is the Bills. Still a very great team. They lost to the Patriots, but, it's really, you're splitting hairs right there. It was a very close game. The Chargers are 5 for me. Their run defense is getting better. Justin Herbert, he's a fantastic, elite quarterback, and their offense can put up points, and their offensive line is really protecting the hell out of Herbert right now. The Ravens, I might have had too high at 6.
I said the same thing.
I really think they're a team, to me, the Ravens and Titans are pretenders. I just gave them their respect because I think the Bengals are a better team talent-wise than those two, but I gave the Ravens and Titans their respect. Who do you see missing the playoffs in the AFC? Because right now, the teams in the bubble are the Chargers, the Bills, the Titans, Colts, Bengals, Dolphins, Browns, Raiders, Broncos. I mean, there's a lot of teams. So who are your power rankings based off of your top 7 teams that are going to make the playoffs?
No, I mean I have the Colts too. So I mean they're on the cusp, but they're not even in.
I know, but like your final prediction for the season.
I think the Titans are going to be the odd man out here. I just don't trust them down the stretch with no weapons. I don't think Tannehill. I mean, you see the offensive
So who are your
pieces they
7
have.
teams that make the playoffs in the AFC?
So I have let me go back to my list real quick.
I'll tell
I
you
have
who
the
go
Pats,
ahead.
Chiefs, Bills, Colts, Chargers. That's 5. We need 7, right? Ravens, Bengals. I think the Dolphins probably just miss out. Titans aren't going to make it. Raiders, Steelers, Browns, no.
All right, I probably have definitely the Patriots making it, Chiefs making it, Bills making it, Bengals I think will make it, Chargers will make it,
The Ravens.
Colts 100%. Ravens should make it, and then my 7th team is going to be the Dolphins.
My 7 is my top 7. So I think the teams that are going to miss it are the Bengals, Dolphins, Browns, Raiders, Broncos, Steelers.
So you guys both have the Titans in.
Yeah, I got the Titans in.
Okay.
I think they'll make it.
I'm not a believer.
Did I have the Titans in?
That's what I was going to
Tannehill,
ask you.
I don't think I did.
I didn't
No.
remember who your team,
No,
your one team
okay,
out was.
I have
Because the
New-
Dolphins were
yes.
my team out.
I have New England. I have the Colts. I have the Chiefs. I have the Bills. I have the Chargers. I have the Bengals. I have.
So Ravens or Dolphins, I guess.
Man. I gotta go with Ravens. I mean, they're not gonna.
You're gonna-
maybe the injuries.
Bro,
it's
you've been
tough.
talking of the Dolphins for weeks
I
now, bro.
understand. It's just the Colts are getting in. The Chargers are gonna get in. The Bengals are gonna get in. The Ravens are still top of the division. It would be tough for them to get out.
But still, they're on top for it by a game.
Oh, man. You
wanna
know
get back
what?
to us?
You know what? Let's be bold. Why not? I think the Dolphins make it over the Ravens.
Cool.
10-7.
Wow.
They're
They're
at
a game.
It's
They're a
tough.
game out.
So
the
you have the
Bengals.
Bengals winning the division.
Yeah, they'd have to.
The Ravens' injuries just scare me, truthfully, and I think that Bengals will be okay. Again, like we spoke about at the wee beginning of this episode, this game was a lot closer than what the score indicated. And before this week, I thought the Bengals had no holes. Maybe they weren't the absolute best in one particular aspect, but in terms of a team, they have no holes. Run defense, pass defense. Maybe their pass defense is a little bit weak.
Their offensive line is a whole.
I agree with that. He was just sacked 6 times this week, so I would say that's a hole for sure. But regardless, Joe Burrow's play still makes up for it. Joe Mixon's play makes up for it.
Jamar Chase has to.
It needs to pick
Learn.
it up.
He's
Yo,
gotta
T.
figure it out.
Higgins, PFF grading, I believe over
Number
these.
1.
He's been number 1.
Yeah, Elijah Moore is like top 3.
And Elijah Moore is a special receiver as well.
Joe Douglas.
Steve
9.
Smith.
Steve Smith. Interesting.
I like
comp.
that. I love it, actually.
I don't think he's Steve Smith.
Interesting comp.
Steve
The only
Smith
thing
is
Steve
more
Smith's
physical,
definitely
way more
agreed.
Yeah,
Agreed.
way more
He's
physical.
Way
big,
more.
buff.
Yeah.
He was like me.
Elijah's still kind of skinny.
But I understand what you mean
Let
in
him get a
terms
few
of Steve
years in
Smith,
him,
though.
You know.
More a shifty type,
Yeah.
quick receiver, fast off the line, great route running.
He's so good.
Now on to the NFC. We did the AFC Power Rankings. Now on to the NFC. Going from teams 1 to 16, number 1, Buccaneers still sit at the top. 2, I got the Packers. 3, the Cardinals. 4, the Cowboys. 5, the Rams. 6, the 49ers. 7, Washington. 8, Vikings. 9, Eagles. 10, Saints. 11, Panthers. 12, Seahawks. 13, Falcons. 14, Giants. 15, Bears. And 16, Lions. Half of the teams in the NFC, I'm just going to erase because there's no need to talk about them. Starting from my 10 to 16, so starting from the Saints all the way down to the Lions, they're out for me. I think in the NFC, for me, it's a 9-team race between the Bucs, Packers, Cardinals, Cowboys, Rams, Niners, Washington, Vikings, and Eagles. So who are your top teams?
Yeah, we have the same top 9, just a bit of a different order. I have the Packers number 1. Our top 3 is different. Packers number 1. I have the Cards 2, Bucks 3, Cowboys 4, Rams 5, Vikings 6, Niners 7, Eagles 8, Washington 9, and then the rest are basically irrelevant.
Okay, I have number 1, Green Bay. Number 2, Arizona Cardinals. Number 3, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Number 4, them boys. Number 5, the Rams. Number 6, the Niners. Number 7, Washington. Number 8, the Vikings. Number 9, the Eagles. Number 10, the Saints. 11, Seahawks. 12, Falcons. 13, Panthers. 14, Giants. 15, Bears. And 16, Lions.
You have the same top 9?
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah, I think the cutoff right here is the Saints. I don't think any of us are believers in Taysom Hill or Trevor Siemian.
Nah, and I think it's just too late for the Seahawks to also turn it around also.
Yeah, way too late.
I think the Bucs, Packers, Arizona, Cowboys, and Rams are all locks to make the playoffs in the NFC.
I agree.
So where we're really going to argue is 49ers to the Eagles. So 49ers, Washington, Vikings, and the Eagles. Which teams are making the playoffs between those four?
I do think the Niners actually do. I think they get in. I mean, they've been playing really good football. They played a division rival in the Seahawks. They lost the dogfight. It happens. I'm not really thinking too much about it. They played very well. Defense maybe could have stepped up a little bit, but what can you really do? Seattle, I mean, great play call on the fake punt, running the ball into the end zone. That ended up being the deciding factor in the game. They won by 7. There it was. I do just think they're better than Washington and the Vikings. Now, between Washington and the Vikings, I'm not putting my faith in the Vikings. I'm sorry. No disrespect to you, bro. I genuinely just cannot. I'm not saying disrespectfully that they gave their first win to the Lions, but that definitely does not help their case of being a playoff team in terms of trust. 5-7 as opposed to a 6-6 is completely different, especially given this landscape of what's going on. Washington has been playing solid football lately. It hasn't been anything wow factor, but in terms of grit and grind, knowing how to win a game, they've taken all the right steps to do so. Giving Antonio Gibson the second most touches by a running back in the NFL, it's a matter of time until we saw that. Early in the season, we were seeing them kind of be a little bit scarce of, I wouldn't say scarce, but a little more mindful of just,
he was hurt. He's still hurt. His shin injury is not 100%.
But it really hasn't hindered his play as of recent. He's been fantastic.
After the bye seemed like did a lot for him.
And another saving grace of theirs is that Logan Thomas doesn't have a torn ACL. It's just
out for the year.
Is it official? Out for the year? Really?
I don't think it was a torn ACL, but it's something serious.
I saw it was MCL. I didn't know if he was out for the year.
So the Vikings are 5-7 right now. They face the Steelers next at home. Then the Bears away. Then the Rams at home. Then the Packers away at Lambeau.
They're toast.
Then the Bears at home.
Bears twice helps.
I think they beat.
Split, though.
They're definitely splitting.
They beat the Bears twice.
You need that.
I think they beat the Rams. They beat the Rams.
Okay, I don't.
Yep.
So they have 8 wins now.
8-7, and I think they beat the Steelers. They lose to the Packers. They're going to go 4-1 in the next 5 games. They're going to make the playoffs.
You're an optimistic guy, and I appreciate that.
9-8.
I appreciate that.
Okay, so what do you have the Vikings finishing as based on this schedule I just showed?
All right, so I think they're splitting with the Bears. I think the Bears will win 1. I think they're losing to the Rams. I think they're losing to the Packers. Who am I missing? Steelers, they could win, but I'm telling you, you cannot trust the Vikings. It's impossible based off their up and down play all season.
If they have a chance to lose the game, they're going to lose the game.
That is so well put.
They just don't have, some teams just don't have that fourth quarter kind of killer instinct. And the Vikings are one of those teams that just can't get it done in the fourth quarter.
I don't think it's really that. I don't think it's that they can't get it done in the fourth because
they lose all these close games every single week, it seems like.
They lose close games, but it's not just because they fold in the fourth. There are things that happen throughout the game that put them in these situations.
Yes, of course.
That's everything, but if there's a drive or two that can decide the game, it seems
like they've always been on the wrong side of the coin this whole season.
Based on the record, it's 50-50.
Speaking of the coin, man.
The coin was wrong.
They're coming after you.
Damn.
Raiders fans are coming after you.
We jinxed it.
Washington right now, their record is 6-7, if I believe.
6-6.
Okay, 6-6. Next 5. Cowboys at home. Away at Philadelphia, play Dallas away.
It's all NFCs.
Eagles at home, and the Giants away.
Only one of these, the Niners are getting in, and it's going to be one of Washington or Philly because it's all NFC East. So whoever finishes there is going to be the last team in.
You think Philly will get in?
It's hard, man.
You're out on the Vikings.
The schedule's too tough.
If Washington splits with the Eagles and the Cowboys, that makes them 8-8, and then week 18 is
the Giants
if they could go 9-8.
All right, now that I'm thinking about it, last season the Giants got screwed out of making the wild card.
They did.
Who played spoiler?
Philly. Or Philly's the one who,
Washington.
Yeah, I'm saying Philly's the one who basically said we're not going to try to win this game.
It would be interesting to see if the Giants played spoiler this season, though.
Yeah.
But I don't. I just think that the Washington's playing too good right now. I just think that.
And the Eagles right now 6-7, right?
They're another team
this week.
4 games left. Washington Giants, Washington Cowboys. Where do they finish?
All right. I'd rather play the Giants twice than the Cowboys or Washington or Philly. You know what I mean? Like, if you have 2 games against the Giants, I like your odds better than anyone else's in that division.
I do think Washington takes 1.
I think Washington beats the Eagles once. They beat the Giants, and they lose to the Cowboys week 18. So I think Washington will finish 8-9. I have the
Vikings 9-8.
No, I think the Eagles will finish 8-9.
Yeah,
I agree. I have Washington at 9-8.
I agree.
Washington and the Niners be my 2.
And now the 49ers schedule.
Talked about this.
Bengals,
it's pretty light, truthfully.
Bengals, Falcons, Titans, Texans, Rams.
They got it.
Yeah,
they're in.
And they're also they're 6-6 right now. Okay. I think
the Falcons and Texans are wins. So that's 8-6 right there. It's going to be between if they can beat the Bengals, Titans, and Rams.
I think they could beat the Titans.
I think the Bengals is a
winnable game for sure.
And the Rams week 18, who knows?
Division game.
Also, do the Rams have anything secured? Do they have anything to play for?
I'll tell you what, I'll say right now, Rams win. Not for the fact that I love the Rams, off the fact that they lost already. And I think that
Kyle Shanahan owns Sean McVay.
Bro, it's crazy actually. What is he, 7-0? 6-0?
He owns Sean McVay.
Something nuts. Ugh. You know what? Now, all right, I rescind it. You can't just stamp that when you're 0-7. But I do think the Rams win, truthfully.
So the 7 teams you have making the playoffs based on what I've heard is the 2 teams that take the wild card spots.
I got Cardinals, Packers, Buccaneers, Cowboys, Rams. Those are the locks. Now my 2 that get in, I'm taking Washington. I'm taking the Niners.
Mine's the exact same.
The Vikings are making the playoffs.
Hey man, I believe. You know, and for you, I want that.
I was gonna say, I like you.
For you, I want that. I love that.
The Vikings. It doesn't look pretty. It doesn't look all sunshine and rainbows right now. But they will make the playoffs. All odds against them, and not only that, they'll win a playoff game.
You know what? I feel like we weren't hard enough on this guy.
No.
Thursday
they're playing Pittsburgh without Thielen too.
Only reason I say that is because this is your team to win the division, and here they are giving the worst team in the NFL their first W.
The Lions should have beat the Ravens too. That was supposed to be the first W.
But they didn't. So
I mean, 66-yard field goal. Come on,
best kicker ever. So
you know what? I'm taking back my dab because he's 100% right. Sorry.
The Lions are a dogfight against most teams they play.
They're competitive, sure, but I mean, loss, win's a win.
All right. Whatever. But the Vikings...
Grandma had balls, she'd be a grandfather.
The Vikings are going to make the playoffs. And not only that, but the Cowboys and the Rams. Because the Bucks, Packers, and Arizona, they can beat the Vikings.
Bucks, yeah.
Maybe not the Cardinals, though.
I disagree wholeheartedly.
Cardinals are disgusting.
Cardinals are running through them.
No team wants to face Minnesota in the playoffs.
Why?
They're not a slouch.
I was going to say why.
Because they can give any team a run for their money. Any team.
And they can also lose to any team.
Every single game they've played is a 1-score game, whether it's been a bad team or a great team.
And more often than not, they haven't come out on top.
And I've said it earlier in the season. The Vikings are the best bad team in the NFL.
Colts. Sorry. Give me that W.
No.
That's a W.
I was going to say, he couldn't be more right.
I'm 100% right.
You think the Vikings are better than the Colts?
Yes.
And how?
Hold on.
The Vikings right now have so many injuries.
All right, bro. It's week 14. Like, you got to get healthy quick. Listen, really quick.
The Vikings are the best, worst team in football.
Called it weeks ago.
I'm just going to say that. If the Vikings don't end up making the playoffs, this is possibly the best team, the best roster that I've seen miss the playoffs.
How can you say
in
this
the past 5 years?
Bro, they just lost to a defeated team.
A defeated team's crazy.
Defeated.
The Lions are not defeated. They're not defeated. They haven't won a game.
No, not anymore.
They tied.
Does
that count for something?
No, the Lions haven't won a game. You're right, but every single game they've played, it's been a dogfight. They should have. I told you they should have beat the Ravens a while ago.
All right, bro, that's sick, but they didn't. Like, I know they should have.
They play with passion.
They do 100%.
If the Vikings are the best bad team I've seen, the Lions are the worst best team I've seen. They play hard. They play with passion.
Calling a team that is like 1-11 the best worst
1-11-1. Give them that tie.
My bad.
The worst best team.
All right, man. Everyone has their own opinion.
You line up. Hold on. Let's actually do this. You line up these Lions with last year's Jaguars or last year's Jets or the Browns that went winless before Baker got there.
Yeah, that's fine.
Or the Lions that went winless without
bro.
Stafford.
They all suck.
Yeah, but I said they're the worst best team. So
Why stop it? We don't have to talk about this.
Amongst all the worst teams, I think this year's Lions take the crown as the best one.
You got it. Sure.
Are they not better than the Jaguars last year?
The Jaguar. I mean, do I get Minshew?
Goff is better than Minshew.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I don't know, bro. What do you mean close.
You don't know?
I don't know, man. That last drive against Minnesota was the best I've seen Jared Goff all season.
Yeah.
It's like something clicked and he was like, all right, I want to win today.
Bro,
there was.
These
close.
Lions are better than the 0-16 Lions. They're better than the 0-16 Browns. They're better than the 1-15 Jags last year.
Okay.
These Lions they're the worst best team.
You got it, bro. If you want
they're the cream of the crop.
They're the cream of the shit. They're the cream of the shit, bro. They're the cream of the shit.
When talking about which team that
cream of the crop is so crazy.
When talking about which when talking about
yo, stop it. We don't have to do this anymore.
When talking about which one-win team is the best in the NFL history,
you got
the 2021 Lions
right.
will be at the top.
Okay.
We'll see if they get 2 wins. We'll see.
Maybe.
They'll be at the top.
Good for them, man.
They'll be at the
Detroit,
top.
shout out.
Dan Campbell, the guy.
He needed to do this to justify Minnesota, which I understand.
Literally. That has to
That's
be the
only
reason. Because there
It's
can't
the
be any
only
other reason, bro.
They play hard, man. They play hard.
Well, how many wins they get next year? You think they hit 4?
Yeah, they'll get 4.
All right.
All right.
Maybe 3.
Get
4.
DeAndre Swift back from injury. Maybe they get a little run end of the year.
Don't sleep on the Lions, man.
I will. Jesus, I'll hibernate on the Lions.
They're like Katy Perry, bro. They're roaring. They're going to roar.
If they took Bryce at 1, you'd be baffled.
What price?
Lions, yeah.
Bryce who?
I'm sorry. What's his name? The quarterback from Alabama.
He's 2023.
I thought he was this year.
No.
2023.
Okay.
Yeah, him and the Ohio State guy.
Yeah, that hurts because I'm sure they would absolutely love.
Listen, they're probably gonna pick top 5 next year too. So
fair enough.
Don't sleep on Minnesota, man.
Oh, I am
Skull.
sound asleep.
Got the horns out.
I would love to go to one of those games. That stadium looks lit.
Yeah, isn't it?
Kyle won.
Facts,
KVR won.
I hate playing with them in Madden, bro.
Why?
Because every single time you get a first down, if you play with the Vikings at home, like they do the sound like,
this the chant or whatever.
Yeah, I'll be like, bro, shut up. I'm not trying to hear this on every first down, bro.
Chill out. That would get me lit.
Bro, it's every first down like,
Do you have the new Madden?
Yeah, I do have.
You fuck with it?
It's all right.
Yeah. I was gonna say I have Game Pass, so you get the 10-hour trial. It's Madden.
Yeah, Madden's always
when I
gonna be
smoked you
Madden.
last time we played.
He beat me 3-2. Congrats.
On to the last topic of the episode, NFL pick on week 13.
Run it up.
I'm actually ashamed that we didn't praise the Lions for the first victory. We had no topic about them.
I literally
That's why I had to say something right now.
You're right.
Yeah.
The Lions just got the first victory.
I literally said I'm never gonna pick the Lions again, and they won the next day.
Did I pick the Lions? I don't remember. I definitely didn't. Who did?
No one, I don't think.
Yeah.
I picked the Lions, yo.
Okay. Here it goes.
Man has picked the Vikings legitimately every single week.
Yeah.
He's every single week. We need to
we all have that one team.
Serge, do right. Go through every
We all
single
have that one
NFL pick
team,
'em.
man.
Let me know if he's picked Vikings.
Yeah, I've been
every single
5-7 on them. That's not too
week.
bad.
Hey, there we go.
I've been
There we
5-7
go.
on them.
You'll take that?
Yeah, I'll take that. I've been
Listen,
5-7 on them.
I can't hate. I said the exact same thing about the Rams. I said every single week, expect me to pick them.
I mean, you're gonna be right more often than not, though.
W.
I don't know about the Vikings.
So you're right. Thursday Night Football, Vikings versus Steelers. Steelers probably out. Who's gonna win this game? I'm going with Minnesota, man.
I don't want to pick. I don't know. I just talked all this shit about Minnesota. I feel bad.
Hey man, they
Deontay versus Jettis.
They did me right last week. I think they're gonna do me right again. I'm going Steelers.
Steelers going a little run here on the season, maybe short week.
Who knows?
I'll take the Vikings.
Yeah, I'm taking the Vikings, man.
Surprise, surprise.
Jets versus Saints.
Jets.
I'll tell you what. I'm not choosing the Jets. I'm going Saints.
Zach Wilson's gonna have a big time day, man. He got when he came back versus the Texans. A little shaky, but he was coming back from his knee injury.
Did his thing against the Eagles.
Then versus the Eagles, man, he looked like
special.
I feel like he never had the ball.
Like Zach Wilson.
Special.
We didn't have the ball in the third quarter.
I was gonna say, bro. Like I feel like I barely saw him on the field.
When Zach had the ball in the first half, we were doing great.
We
I was
scored
gonna say
3 straight times.
Second half, they ran all over you guys.
Yeah. We scored 3 touchdowns back to back to back.
Against the Saints, I'm taking Zach.
Let's go.
Zach attacked 3 touchdowns, 0 picks,
Let me hear
300
it.
yards.
Zach Wilson special.
Pepsi Rookie of the Week.
Yes, sir.
He
This week,
refuses
for
to
sure.
say it.
He's going to have
Wow.
potentially 2 Rookie of the Weeks, all other quarterbacks in this class combined.
Yo, what happened with
Goose
you
egg.
and Zach Wilson? He's
What
not
do you mean?
special anymore?
Zach Wilson is special.
Oh, okay. All right. I just want to make sure.
It's just against the Saints have a great defense.
They do.
You know, so
Great rush defense. Pass defense, a little lenient. Obviously, you have Marshawn Lattimore, but other than that, it's
Marcus
possible.
Williams, Malcolm Jenkins. Demario
Malcolm Jenkins,
Davis.
again, it has nothing to do with the secondary.
Demar Davis, Jet legend, man.
I mean, it does. He's guarding tight ends.
Who's
Yeah, Ryan Griffin.
Yeah, come on, man.
He got hurt, actually.
Stop
Please say something about Ryan Griffin, bro. Please say something about Ryan
What was
Griffin.
the eye?
Yo,
And Keelan Cole,
my
right?
eye-
He's no one.
My eye was about like, yeah, like, so how aren't the Saints going to contain the Jets if Demario Davis
Yeah.
has to worry about a scrub?
Word.
Like, come on.
So then why are
Tight
you
end's a
choosing the
big
Jets?
need for the Jets.
So then why are you choosing the Jets?
Because
That's
I
the
believe in
squad.
Zach.
Yeah.
It's not that.
Ah,
no,
you
like
know,
Zach.
I
I was gonna say,
apologize,
I'm
bro.
picking the Jets almost every week.
I don't know
going
if
forward,
Zach's
'cause
going
he
to
got-
have 3 touchdowns, no picks, and 300 yards. He's going to have 236 yards passing. I'm going to give it an exact stat.
236?
236 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, completing 64% of his passes.
Be honest, interception?
Maybe 1.
Okay.
Yeah, he'll have a turnover.
That's Zach at this point right now. He's going to have a Zach Wilson special versus the Jaguars, though. Best believe that.
All right.
Best
G
believe
wants
that.
to go to that game.
That'd be lit.
I got
That'd be
season
lit.
tickets. I'm going to go.
I said if it's not brick out, I'll be there. But if it's gonna be like 10 degrees, hell no.
Now, Panthers versus Falcons. I got the Panthers.
I got the Falcons.
I'm going Falcons as well.
Texans versus the Seahawks.
Seahawks.
Give me the Texans.
Like that, actually. But I'm definitely still going Seahawks.
Yeah, I'm going to Seahawks too. Chiefs versus Raiders.
KC.
Relentlessly. KC.
Going with the Chiefs. Browns versus Ravens.
Ravens. I just don't trust Baker.
Believe it or not, I'm going Browns. I think they do win this game. They're too banged up, the Ravens.
Off of bye, I'm going with the Browns. Washington versus the Cowboys.
Them boys.
Washington's been playing well.
Ooh,
lately.
at home, actually. So
Washington
they
is-
played
Cowboys
twice.
at home.
No, they're not.
Washington's home.
Washington's home?
Yeah. Ooh. I didn't love the way the Cowboys played last week. I know they won for sure, but they're playing against a beat-up Saints. They're just not the same team right now. The way Washington's been playing, and given the fact the way the Cowboys defense has been playing lately, I think I'm going Washington.
I have the football team splitting with the Cowboys, so this is going to be one of those games. I have Washington too.
All right, I'll be contrarian. I'll take the Cowboys.
No, you're not.
Oh, too bad.
Titans versus Jaguars.
Listen, last time he did that with the Bills, he was wrong.
Facts.
Here we
Titans
go.
versus Jaguars. I'm going with the Titans. I don't really have to
Yeah,
think
I'm not
about this.
gonna.
Jaguars are just horrible. Horrible. All right, Titans.
Chargers versus the Giants.
Chargers, Giants on the road. Hell no.
I got the Chargers.
Yeah, I don't like this matchup at all. Is Daniel Jones back?
No, he's not.
He's going to be out. Official.
Jake Fromm might start.
Facts. I did see
yeah.
that. I did see that.
That'd
All
be
right,
some
Chargers.
By a million.
Broncos versus the Lions.
Broncos.
Javonte Williams.
Melvin
Actually,
Gordon now.
he practiced today.
Limited.
Yeah, and I think so. That being said, both of them will have touchdowns. I'm going Broncos.
The Lions are so energized from last week's win versus
All right, if
Minnesota.
you didn't know already, Joel hates Andrew. It's official.
The Lions are so energized
I hate
from
this. I can't.
their win against the Vikings. I feel like this past week in practice, they haven't been able to focus because they've been on such a high,
Here, thank you.
which is why I think the Broncos are going to blow them out.
I can't with
You
you.
gave your run for your money there.
Bengals versus the 49ers.
Oof, this is a tough game. Bengals coming off a rough loss, one they could have had. I think they bounced back here, beat the 49ers.
I'm going
Niners
With-
just had a tough loss too, though.
They did.
Bengals at home, man. I'm going Bengals.
I'm bugging. Who the Niners just play?
Seahawks.
Oh yeah. Right.
Ah, man, this is tough though because Niners are really playing good football.
I'm going with the Niners.
Ah, man. You went Niners too?
God damn, this sucks. Sorry, I'm looking ahead.
You're going Niners?
I picked the Bengals.
You know what? I'm going Niners. I do think they win.
Buccaneers versus Bills.
Buccaneers.
Bucks at home. I'll take it.
I got the Bucks. Packers versus Bears.
That's what I'm sick about. They could have easily flexed the Bills Bucks into 8:30 and had this Bears Packers games at 4:25.
We would have been spoiled because Bills Buccaneers 8:00, right? Hypothetically, Rams Cardinals Monday night.
I'm sick to my stomach.
Goodness.
They might change it still. You never know.
I think it's too late.
Nope.
No, they could do it on a Wednesday, the week of.
I don't know.
I feel like they do it earlier.
But
in
like
the
the
week.
nighttime, like if it's the same day, that's like I feel like
They could flex 4:30 games into 8. You can't flex Monday games though.
no. But that's what I'm saying. I'm fine with the Bills. You could flex the Bills and the Bears and the Packers.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying for sure.
Yeah. So that being
So
said,
we all got the Bucks.
All got the Bucks.
all got the Bucks.
We all
Packers,
got the Packers I'm
versus
assuming.
Bears.
Justin Fields is playing, so that's cool. But Packers.
Got the Packers.
Come on.
Cardinals versus Rams. Primetime Stafford.
Prime time.
This is your guy.
I'm taking the Cards, man. I like the Cardinals a lot. I think they're being overlooked. They're a real Super Bowl threat.
Let this be the 1 week that I choose against the Rams
I was gonna say, bro.
and they win.
Oh yeah, you're gonna pick against them, so it's good because they win. But it's bad because pick against them. Pick your poison.
I'll take the L on the pick 'em. I'm going Cardinals. Let's ride.
I think the Rams need a statement win.
We don't need you to reverse jinx them. You did it already with Stafford earlier in this year. Pick the Cardinals.
They need a statement win. The Jaguars wasn't a statement win. I think the Rams come out hot in this one, and Stafford has a non-Stafford primetime day, which means he's going to be
So
good.
bad.
And that's going to do it for
He's
NFL
lying
Pick'em.
through his teeth.
He just wants the Rams to lose.
So I actually wanted to fact check you, Drew, on the Christian McCaffrey thing. I actually have the stats. PFF actually does an amazing job charting where each run goes.
It's time to get on PFF. Simple as
Yeah.
that.
Bro, I gave you my logic.
So look at this. He averages 5 yards a carry when he's rushing towards the left end, so on the outside. Rushing towards the middle left, in between the center and the left guard, he averages 4.3 yards. But when he's rushing through the left guard, it's 4.2. And then the middle right, in between the center and the right guard, it's at 3.5. Towards the right side, the right end, he's at 3.3. When he's rushing in between the left tackle, it's at 3.3 yards a carry. In between the right guard, it's at 2.3 yards a carry. In between the right tackle, it's at 1.8. That was his rookie season, though.
Sounds like the right side of the line was terrible.
All right, so what does that matter about?
No, I told you about he can't rush. He's not a great rusher in
But
between
then
the
I told you
tackles.
2018, which
Let's
is
look at
definitely not
his
his
last-
rookie season.
I'm looking at his 2018
But
year now.
Okay.
So because they have it for every year.
All right, that's
So we're
damn,
gonna-
really?
Yeah.
That's tough.
Yeah. So
All right, it's official. What am I doing?
I gave it to you.
when he's
literally last
rushing
year.
in between the left guard, 7 yards a carry. Middle right, between the center and the right guard, it's at 6.5 yards a carry. Left end, it's at 6. Right guard, it's at 4.9. The right tackle, it's at 4.1. The right end, it's at 3.7. Left tackle, 3.1. Middle left, 3. And like in between the right, it's like on the outside right, it's 3.3 yards carry. Now looking at 2019,
This
These are gonna be nuts.
This was MVP
Yeah,
McCaffrey.
it's gonna be nuts.
so when he's sweeping to the right, like when
He's definitely a better
when he's-
sweeper. Yes,
when
yes,
he's
yeah.
motioning from the left slot
Mm-hmm.
to the right side,
Mhm.
he averages 13 yards per attempt.
Talking like a jet sweep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, middle right, which is in between the center and
Right
the
guard.
right guard, it's 6.5 yards. Right tackle is 5.8. Right guard, it's 5.8. Left tackle, it's 4.9. Middle left, it's 4.3. And on the outside, left end and right end, it's 3.6 and 3.4. And left guard, it's at 3.
Sounds like he was better in between the tackles in 2019
low
than
key.
outside.
Yeah, 2019 he was. Then we look at 2020,
Well,
which he got
what,
injured.
I was say he played what, 2 games?
Yeah, left end 5.3, right
this
tackle
is-
4.6,
All
middle
right, so
right 3.9.
You'll give it that he can rush in between the tackles.
Yeah.
He had one season where he showed he can do it at an
2018?
effective level.
2018.
He was fine in 2018. He was amazing in 2019.
Correct.
So he's just fine.
Okay, if Christian McCaffrey is fine
I'll
in
take it.
between tackles,
I'll take it. W.
Yeah.
And
It's
let's
not-
end the
it's
show
not
on an Andrew
being
W.
fine is not effective though.
It's Christian McCaffrey, bro. He does everything elite as hell.
Come on, Joel.
I'm gonna find other stats, bro.
All right, what's that? What are you trying to prove here?
Yeah, I mean,
He's
honestly,
not a great rusher in between the tackles.
but that was incorrect.
Yeah, I was gonna say we
No,
just
that
saw,
wasn't
We just saw
incorrect.
PFF. He had a
You
great
just
year in
got
2019.
debunked.
he had one great year.
Get
where he did that.
debunked.
Okay, and he had one bad year. So
I said it's like this, so it's like that, man.
Nah, it's not
It's
how
like
it
this,
works.
it's like that.
Not how it works. Not my world.
All right, I'm gonna find you some articles. I'm gonna find you some videos, some film analysis. We gonna see, man.
And I'll
you
ignore
could
it.
find plenty of film analysis that has him doing nothing in between. And
Listen,
have plenty
men
that's
lie,
amazing.
women lie. You know what doesn't?
Numbers.
Numbers.
Do lie though,
Oh, they
In what
can.
world?
They can.
In what
because
world?
numbers show that Tua was a top 10 quarterback according to QBR.
Let's
He's not.
ride.
He's not. So
That's
numbers
right.
You know
definitely do lie.
you were never gonna win that.
Nah,
I mean, come on,
see,
bro.
come on. You can't talk to me like that.
When what?
Talk to me
If you say
nice.
Tua is not a top 10, you're just gonna be like, he is top 10.
He is.
Well, we know the
That's
truth.
my
I know.
guy.
We know the truth.
Yeah, we do know the truth. One day he'll be in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, that's a ton.
Oh my God, so many years away.
Ton of years away.
It's gotta listen, man.
We're gonna have
Sky's the
You're gonna
limit.
be so wrong when he's like a journeyman in year 6.
that'll hurt.
He's praying. He's praying. He's like, oh
Listen,
my God.
journeyman might be a little rude, but he'll probably be on a different team.
No, I'm playing. I don't think he'll be a journeyman.
No.
Yeah.
Pick a side, bruv. Are you in or you out?
I'm just talking right now.
So he said, "I'm not a podcast
This is
mode.
not a take. I'm just giving out
Even
scenarios.
still, when you're talking about Tua, you're never concrete. We got to stop with the criticism. He's too harshly criticized. He's not a franchise guy. I need
He's
one,
not.
but
But that's
other.
fine. He
He's
could
not
be
a
because I
franchise
agree.
guy.
He did
I don't
get
think he is.
criticized too much, but I also don't think he's an elite quarterback.
You're over here putting him in the top 10.
You said he was better than Kyler.
Accuracy-wise.
Accuracy,
Whoa,
yes, yes, I know.
No, I said that he can be. I still, when we gave the list, I said
You did
Kyler
at
was.
first, though.
yes.
At first, you said
I said
Tua over Kyler.
In terms of passing, I do genuinely believe that Tua can reach the level of Kyler Murray. Yes.
You're talking like top 3 passer in the league.
Yes.
You think
If they
Tua
get
could be a top
do you
3
think,
passer
Do you
in the
think
league?
Kyler's a top 3 passer in the league?
Right behind Brady and Rodgers, probably.
No, wait.
Herbert?
Yeah, come on.
Mahomes?
Allen.
Kyler's up there with all of them.
I'm not. Listen, you're talking to the right guy.
He has one of the highest ADOTs and highest completion percentages.
He's amazing. No,
so
he
what
has
do you
the-
want? What
he
else
has
do you want?
The highest completion percentage.
With one of the highest average depths of target in the NFL.
I said Tua is harshly criticized, but people like you are overrating the hell out of him.
I'm not overrating him. I'm being honest.
You're a super fan.
I love him. He's cool as sin. He's a lefty.
You know he can sing, right?
I believe it.
No, like I've seen him
On what? Like,
on TikTok. He has a TikTok where he's playing the guitar and singing.
that's tough.
I hope Tua sees this.
No, like
man.
it's
Tua, let's be
great.
friends, bro. Let's just be cool.
Like that was the
Like, go
that
for a
was
ball
that
around.
was he.
Maybe you teach me a few things.
I saw that video at
Hey,
the.
yo.
I saw that.
Hey,
I saw that
yo,
video
yo,
at the
yo.
peak of Tua hate, and even the comments were like, "Yo, football doesn't work out. You got a music career." Like for real. Like he it was really amazing. I almost cried, bro.
That's so fast.
I almost my
and
heart
you weren't a
warmed
fan
up.
of his immediately off that?
No, I like Tua, but I'm just realistic about what I think he's going to be.
Which
I felt
is-
the same way since last year. I was like, I like him. I'm rooting for him.
See, I don't
just
know. I don't know
think-
with you either. You're like free Tua, and
Because it
now
is
you're
free
here
Tua.
over here.
Because
Come
the
on,
Dolphins
bruh.
treat him like he's a piece of shit. When in reality, he could be a good quarterback. I just don't think he's going to be elite. That's been my stance since I've seen him first play last year.
So you're telling me Tua can never be a top 10 quarterback?
Borderline. I said it last week.
Kirk
That 9 to
Cousins?
12 range. Yes. I don't think Cousins is elite.
Okay.
I think he's good.
All
I
right.
think he's pretty
All
damn good.
He was elite up until a couple of weeks ago.
Oh,
Kirk Cousins this year.
yeah, no, EFX. He was.
This year, he was
playing.
elite.
But yeah, can Tua have one or two of those years in his career where he just goes crazy? Sure, but I mean, it's an outlier.
He's not going to be no Zach Wilson, that's for sure.
I hope he's right.
Yeah.
You hope I'm right.
Exactly.
You know I'm right.
Because he's shown it,
yes,
baby.
because I'm a biased Jets fan.
Zachary.
So yeah, but
Zachary.
I hope he's him, man.
Wackery.
Zach Wilson.
At
Zach Wilson is nice.
Nah, Zach is nice.
So if you made it this far, thank you
Yo,
so
shout
much
out.
for
Shout out.
listening. This was episode 135. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Pick Aside Podcast, on Twitter at Pick Aside Pod, and we'll see you next time.